G. Give me 1 second. All right, it's not happening. Okay. All right, what's up, everybody?
Hey, how you doing?
Hello.
Woo. Welcome to another session of the Golf Club Podcast After Dark session, live out of San Francisco on this beautiful Saturday night. As you guys can see, we have some guests here tonight. We have a little late show. Some of the ladies are going to be joining a little bit later. So some of them are going to be joining probably a little later. So when they get in here, I'll add them on. But we have two guests here, and we're going to get it started and get the show rolling for you guys. I know a lot of you guys have been waiting for the show. So I do appreciate your patience. Thank you so much, as always, for always tuning into my live shows. As always, appreciate you guys on the live chat already. Lord Punisher, Tim, BL17, good to see you guys on live chat, always supporting the show, always making sure to be the first ones to comment and respond on the live chat. Thank you so much. All right, Jane, hey, good to see you, Jane. Good to see you on the live chat. I appreciate you guys. But let's get that live chat popping. Let me know what you guys think. We have a great show and topic. And we have some great guests joining us here tonight. We have some guests going to be joining a little bit later once they get here, and I'll make sure I'll add them in to the panel. But nevertheless, as always, if you see value in the content, the best way to support the channel is to smash that like and subscribe button real quick. I do appreciate you guys. And also, don't forget, this is a virtual public show. A lot of you guys reach out to me, always asking me, how do I join the podcast? I'm not from California. I'm not from the Bay Area. There is a way to join the show. If you do want to join virtually from your phone and join us on the panel from anywhere in the world, become a supporting member of my locals. The link is in the description of this video on YouTube, and you'll be able to get the link and join us virtually and add on to our discussion. And that'll be on the last part of the podcast. All right. So I do appreciate you guys for always tuning in and supporting the channel. But nevertheless, if you do want to share your voice independence, drop it through a super chat. I'll be able to put it on screen and respond to a lot of the questions or topics that you guys may have. And of course, if you just want to support the channel, like a lot of you guys do, as always, every single show, drop it through a super chat. I'll be able to give you a big shout out and respond to you. So appreciate you guys. Thank you so much for tuning in. I know you guys are watching from different platforms. If you're watching from Facebook, Twitch, and X, come over to YouTube and participate on the live chat. So we get the full experience of the shows. And also to all the ninja watchers out there, a lot of you guys always be creeping and watching without saying anything. All right, so definitely come out the closet tonight and say something on the live chat and participate. So, but let's get it active. I know a lot of you guys are moderators in the live chat. Get everybody to get active, get live, and we'll get the show started, and then we'll add on all the other girls once they get here, and we'll have to continue the conversation and show for you guys as well. But nevertheless, that's pretty much all my YouTube stuff. Thank you so much, as always. I always appreciate you guys for always supporting the channel and being part of my live shows. I host for you guys every single week. And like I said, thank you so much for all the financial donations. Every single donation always goes back to my podcast. So I'll give you guys the best quality content. All right. Always work hard for you guys. But that's pretty much all my YouTube stuff. Thank you so much. I'll pass it to our lovely guests. Thank you for making the time. Shout out to you guys.
Hey.
What up? What up?
All right. Thank you for making the time. I appreciate you guys. I know we had a little late start today. But thank you so much for making the time. But I'll pass it to you guys. A lot of your first time here. A lot of people don't know who you are. So if you guys don't mind, just give yourself a quick intro, and we'll go right into it. Okay.
Okay. Well, my name is Renee. I'm African American, as you can see. I am 57 years old. Jeez.
Where at?
Right here.
Where at? Child. I can't tell.
I manage a corporation that I really don't want to give the name of because I don't want to.
Mm-hmm.
And what I'm looking for is to actually school some folks on relationships tonight.
All right. Thank you so much.
All right.
Hey, Renee.
Hey.
What's up, y'all? My name is Tiaka, but I go by Miss T. I'm Black, African American. I am 40, just May 40 on May 4th. Shout out to me. Happy birthday.
Hey.
I celebrate all month, by the way. I am a human resources analyst, and I am married. So I'm just looking to remain married. That is my goal, and to share whatever I can share with you all and take back whatever you all have to share as well. So, yeah.
All right. Thank you so much. And shout out to you guys one more time. All right. Thank you for making the time. Excited to have you guys on here. And shout out to everybody in the live chat. Thank you so much. But let's get that live chat active. But right before we go ahead, get started, we got to get some Kava in our system real quick. So, all right.
Let's do it.
All right. So this is just to let you guys know, this has a very earthy earth taste. All right.
It smells earthy.
All right.
Thank you.
All right. You're welcome. And then right before we drink, so traditionally, right before we drink, we always offer some words of endearment towards each other, and then we go ahead and raise our cups, and then we drink. So, my words of endearment, since we're talking about practice for divorce and cheating, one of the things I've always shared to men and women is standards, and I do believe when it comes to standards. Standards is not optional. It's condition. It's not optional. It's something that you apply for every aspect of your life. So standards applies for your relationships. It applies for work. It applies for your health. It applies for your physical, mental, financial, emotional, everything. If you're very disciplined, if you have a standard, it applies for everything. So I just want to say that because sometimes when I see online, people will say, I have a standard in my job, but I don't have a standard when it comes to relationships. So my words of endearment towards everybody out there, that standard is something that you apply for all aspects of your life. Okay, so that's my words of endearment. I'll pass it to you.
Okay. I believe in trust. Trust is everything. Standards, I agree. Yep. Trust is everything. If you don't have trust, you have absolutely nothing at all. You have to stand on that all day, every day, your entire life.
And I'm just going to wrap that up and say, in order to have the standards and the trust, you got to have God. You got to have God first. It's not about perfection. It's just about simply knowing him and who he is and having a relationship with him so that you can have those strong foundations.
There you go.
All right. And you just say, Ofa.
Ofa.
Atu.
Atu.
All right. Ofa Atu, y'all. All right. Try it. Go ahead.
Different.
What does it taste like?
Potato.
Yep. It has a very earthy taste. But shout out to you guys. Thank you so much for always watching. I do appreciate you guys as always. And shout out to the Kava drinkers out there. And a lot of people will be drinking Kava tonight. For all the fellas drinking Kava tonight, make sure you guys go home to your wives. You guys be drinking too much.
Easy on the Kava.
Yeah, you guys be drinking Kava all night, right? So make sure you go spend some quality time with your family. But nevertheless, I do appreciate you guys. Let's get the live chat active. I do have a great topic to discuss for you guys, and we're going to go right into it. So the topic we're going to be discussing tonight is modern dating just practice for divorce and cheating. So I had two videos I saw that was trending online. So I'm gonna play this two videos real quick. We'll get and then as you guys are reacting to the video, definitely let me know what you guys think on the live chat as you reacted to the video, and I'll pass it back to the guests to get their perspective and their feedback. Okay, but we'll go right into it. So these are two videos I saw online. So let me start with this one. Okay.
Of what we call dating is honestly practicing divorce. Try it as many times as you want to until you find the one. But what you've done is you've formed a habit of getting into things and getting out of them. So what ends up happening is when you get into a marriage and you're like, they're better than everybody else. When it gets tough, you're like, the first reflex I know to do is get out of it.
All right, so that was one clip. All right, and then this is the second clip I saw online.
About how current dating is just practicing for divorce. We have very little kind of ethics and cultures that create a long-lasting marriage, and we're teaching people exactly how to get divorced, how to have short-term connections, how to move on quickly, how to break up and then start again, how to have very little attention and patience. So we're creating an environment and a culture where we have perfect candidates for divorce, unfortunately.
Why do you think that is? Do you think it's largely due to social media?
I think it's massively had a huge impact because more more so than anything, it's reduced our desire to invest in people. Everybody seems disposable. You can quickly send a message to somebody else, you can quickly move on, you can quickly post a picture and new people will come into your DMs. So there is no motivation to make things work when they get tricky. So that's why, and social media hasn't been ideal for relationships.
All right, so those were the two clips I saw online. So is modern dating just practice for divorce and cheating? Of course, we live in 2024, so there's the way people date today is completely different compared to 30, 40, 50 years ago. So we have casual relationships, we have hookup culture, we have situationships, we have sneaky links. Have you guys heard of
Most definitely.
We have sneaky links. So a lot of people, I think in general, if you ask most people, because I know everybody comes from different backgrounds, but if you ask most people, what is your ideal relationship long term? I think if people were honest, most people would say, I want a long-term committed relationship. What if that looks like through a marriage? I want children. I want a good man. I want a good woman. I want a loyal relationship, monogamous relationship, and I want a healthy relationship where two people are getting reciprocated, especially emotionally, with love and appreciation, and especially respect. All right. So if that is what majority of people want long term, my question I want to ask you guys, I would love to hear your feedback. The way we date today, hooking up, getting into quick short-term connections with people, getting with people just based on physical qualities, superficial qualities, not something that goes deeper. Being in situationships where people are dating, but they don't really have any intention or clarity. Where is it going? That's why a lot of people find themselves in situationships where they're still dating, but the person hasn't made it official, whether they're girlfriend or boyfriend. But you're just doing all the things that you would do in a relationship, but there's no confirmation that you guys are official or if it's moving towards something. So these are the situations that people are finding in today's modern dating. So my question I want to ask you guys, and that's why they were saying on those video clips, the way you date today, get into something, moving on to something else, bouncing around, dating multiple relationships, trying to find that perfect person. Are we just conditioning or teaching people how to break up and get divorced and cheat, right? So instead of fighting through your relationships to figure out to make it work, most people are like, well, if I'm not getting what I want, I'm just going to talk to somebody else and cheat on them, even though they're still in a relationship, what if it's official or not official? So, but that's a topic. Is modern dating? Is modern dating just practice for divorce and cheating? What do you guys think? I'll pass it to you, Renee. I'll start with you. What's your perspective? What's your opening statement? Go ahead.
Okay, well, I can see it more as practice until you get it right. Not necessarily practicing until you.
A little bit more this way.
Okay, not necessarily practicing until you, for a divorce. I think it's practicing until you get it right.
Right.
You keep looking, you find that perfect match, you date and you date and you date until you find that right one. Why settle? I don't think you're practicing for a divorce. I think you're practicing until you find the right one.
Okay.
I think that's the right approach. That's just the way that I see it. I don't think you should, if you're young and you're out there and you're dating, you should date until you find the right one.
Okay. All right. So thank you so much for sharing that, Renee. I'll pass it to you, Tiaka. What do you think?
I would have to agree. I think, just like Renee said, it's not so much that you're practicing, you're dating in preparation for divorce, but you're really trying to just see, are we compatible? Do we have chemistry? If this is where you're coming from, then I don't think that that's necessarily fair to say that today people are dating, just to practice for divorce. I think you do have to fill out a person. You have to see if you guys are compatible. You got to see if it's even worth your time.
Absolutely.
Before you just, jump out and say, okay, this is what we're doing. Because you got to make sure that you guys are on one accord.
Okay. All right. Thank you so much for sharing your perspective. Thank you so much, everybody that's on the live chat. Let me know what you guys think. My question I want to ask you, Renee, do you think that if people want a long-term committed healthy relationship, right?
Mhm.
Do you think is there a specific method of dating or way of dating in order to get that outcome? So I kind of disagree when it comes to practicing and dating multiple relationships until you find the right one.
Okay.
I don't
So-
I don't know I don't agree with finding the right one because I don't think the right one exists because we're all humans, we have flaws. But I think there is a right relationship you look for. So if you're looking for a specific relationship, oftentimes you just try to find somebody that has the qualities for the relationship you're looking for, and then try to find aligners with those people that have similar values, similar qualities, and you guys put in the work to make it work.
Absolutely.
But my question to you is the way people date today with the
Mhm.
casual dating, hooking up, people are no longer expecting marriage before sex. People are having sex, having children before marriage. There's a lot of ways people act or date today, multiple times with multiple partners. Do you think that leads them to the outcome of having a long-term, lasting, committed, healthy relationship?
Now, if you're dating with the intent
Yeah.
of marriage,
Yeah.
I think it is absolutely okay
Okay.
to date. And you can date 2 or 3 men, 2 or 3 women at the same time. And of course, you're going to cancel out 1, 2, because you're going to figure out which one is right for you. I'm not saying that you're going to have sex before a marriage or what have you, but you're going to have to figure out who is right for you. You're not going to just find some Joe on the street and say, okay, this is a guy for me. Marry him, and then later on figure out, oh my God, this is not the guy for me. You're gonna have to date around
Yeah.
and find the guy who fit that niche for you.
Okay.
And that means dating. And dating means more than one guy.
And you also have to realize marriage is supposed to be forever. Forever is a long time. You don't just rush into something so
Absolutely.
serious
Yeah.
like that with somebody. You have
Yeah.
to, figure out who is for me. Hell, first of all, you got to know who you are, number
Yeah.
one.
Yeah.
Mhm.
First of all. And let's just be honest, a lot of us big old age people, grown, still figuring it out. We're forever evolving. We're forever changing and going through different phases of ourselves. So in trying to figure all that out and then trying to mesh that person, that evolving person with another evolving person, that's going to require time. You can't just rush into something like that.
That's right.
Yeah.
So,
The dating so you believe in dating multiple people, like having like 2 or 3 people at the same time?
I do.
How can that, so if somebody is looking for a specific partner that's willing to reciprocate everything there and invest 100% committed into their relationship, how does that help you find that person?
Eventually, that dating is gonna wind down to one person.
Okay.
But you can't just date one person and then not know what else is out there in the world. You have to date multiple people. Because if you focus on just one person and you're just missing out. And that's just the way I feel about it. You're just missing out. You can spend 5, 6, 7 years dating one person and then realize, oh my God, this is not the person for me. And all that time is lost. You could have dated 2 or 3 people at one time, knock that person off, okay, knock this person off, boom, this is your person.
Yeah.
Or maybe not. And then you move on. There's so much time lost and time you can't get back.
But
I don't think there's nothing wrong with that approach if you're transparent with the people that you're
Absolutely.
dating, right?
Yeah.
If you're saying, hey, listen, this is not lock and loaded. We're not, locked in.
You're dating.
We're seeing each other. We're dating, and I'm also dating other people.
Yeah.
I don't think there's nothing wrong with that approach at all.
Well, though I think for me, it's just the way I see it is, that's why I believe in, you mentioned something, intentional dating, right? If you're intentional with when you date, and to me, my definition of intentional is, number one, you know your outcome, like you know what you want, and number two, you know the very things that you're looking for in the relationship. So the thing is, for me, is if you're intentional of what you want, the outcome, then I think that's why you mentioned before, you don't know what's out there. But I think that's why you have a vetting process, right? So if you know exactly the qualities of what you're looking for, you got to be disciplined for yourself to make sure that I'm only going to allow people that has the vision and what I look for long term, but also has the qualities of the relationship I'm trying to build. And then when you vet these people out, okay, this person didn't qualify. Oh, but then I found this person. Then this is the person I want to, and this is the person I commit to, right?
So what makes you think that the person that you vetted is actually giving you what you're really looking for?
Well, that's the vetting process when you date it, because when you go date, that's when you have conversation questions. That's when you ask them, hey, what do you look for?
Okay.
What are your plans for your future? What's your idea of a family relationship?
Okay.
So if you're having those hard conversations of what you want, that's how you can know if they're just BSing you or if they have similar things that you're looking for. But also, it's also good to ask them questions, because now you can hold them accountable to their life.
Right.
If the man says, I have a vision for my family, I want to get a good job, a good career, but he's lazy and he doesn't go to work every single day, and you see that he's having financial problems, then you know that his behavior doesn't match what you said.
Okay.
Because my problem is, because I think for me, in my perspective, when you have a relationship, it's going to take 100% of you to make that work.
Absolutely.
And my problem with dividing your energy and time with three people, I don't think it's, I mean, based on my experience and also with people I see that are married, it takes a lot to build something with a relationship. But if you're giving 30% of your time to this person, 30% of your time, and I think that limits you, not only attracting quality people what they want, but also
because pieces of you spread all over the place.
Exactly.
You know, and it's draining and it's
Well,
all I can say is, but that's why it depends on what you want. Like, is that what you want? Is that what you want to do?
Yeah, I'm coming right now. I'll come down.
Your criteria, and if that's so, then
Well,
cool.
listen,
and if it matches,
I'm gonna come back.
I've been there and I've
then
done
what's
that.
the problem?
All right, guys.
It all depends on if y'all share the same goals.
So guys, I gotta go grab some guests. They just got here. So I'll pass it to you guys. If you have any questions for these ladies, ask it through the live chat, and they'll be able to respond to you guys. But you guys can continue on the conversation.
Okay,
I'll be back in 5-10 minutes.
Let's see. Why date someone not your type? Exactly. Why date someone that's not your type?
Waste of time.
It's a waste of time. Absolutely.
And that's what the vetting process is for. That's where
They
you
said,
find
"We'll
all that out.
We'll don't have it right."
We talking Lord Punisher. I mean, you could 9 times out of 10, you know what you're going into this thing for. You know what I mean? You know what your aim is. You know what you're looking for, and hopefully you're making that clear up front, so there's no misunderstanding.
Listen,
I mean, transparency, right? If you're being transparent, then
before I got married, I literally was dating 2 other people. Literally was dating 2 other people.
Was that exhausting?
It was not exhausting, but I chose the right one.
Okay.
And I was very happy with my choice.
Okay.
And when I think back today, I was very happy with my choice.
Okay.
So it happens, and it can happen, and it will happen for you too. Try it. Betting should take 6 months to a year, though. Exactly. So why you want to take 6 months to a year on just one person, and then they turn out to be not the right
Honey, that's
one?
the probationary period at work.
Okay,
I think it's efficient.
Why not? I mean,
Yes.
Why not date 2 or 3 people in that 6 months? You'll find out that was not the one. You get rid of one, then you're working on 2.
And the person can only pretend for so long. I mean, eventually.
And then you're working on 2, and then you get rid of the next one, then you find that one. Come on now.
I mean, to each his own, you know. If you
They said,
prefer
what the hell?
the one slow monogamous track, then that's great too. I say whatever your preference is.
You had a rooster?
You dated while you were married. Who? I don't know who that question is to. I think when you were telling the story about she said before she got married.
Before I got married, yes.
She was courting 2 people. Let's be clear. I dated my hubby 5 years. Okay. How's that? Are you guys still together, Jane? You and your husband? He said, "No, I'm good. First is already what? Enough, especially these days. One is already enough." Okay. Yes.
Only him. Okay, that's
only
good.
him.
That's
Okay,
good.
Jane.
To each his own.
Yeah.
Indeed. Yes,
each his
indeed.
But let me just say this though, from and I don't know if Will's going to get to that or not, but if he does, we can happily revisit it. I will say this though, if you are dating with the intention of marriage, marriage is a beautiful thing. It's such a wonderful, it's a wonderful union. Would you agree, Renee?
I agree.
You agree?
I agree.
It's beautiful. It's work, you know, and it requires you literally dying to yourself oftentimes, but it's all for the intent of a beautiful union between two souls, and it's worth it. I love everything about it. There's some hard days, there's some hard times, but it's absolutely worth it.
It's worth it.
It's a beautiful thing when it's with the right person. It has to be with the right person, though.
No, Lord Punisher, dating multiple people is not exhausting if they understand.
I'm
He said-
before I leave the dating multiple people to the high schoolers.
I was young. I
got divorced.
I was under 34, most definitely.
I'm sorry to hear that, Jane. Every marriage is a great thing. It is. It is. It can be. It can
be. This is cool. I'm looking for. Yeah. Well, I can say that we're looking forward to these new people coming up on the podcast. We want a different perspective.
Yes.
We are actual friends, family, and we know each other. We've known each other for a very long time.
All my life.
And we have similar perspectives.
Mm-hmm.
So we want a different perspective here tonight to see what they think. So we can be like, what?
Right.
And
I'm always curious to know others' perspectives because there's so many ways. It's all about perception, right?
Absolutely.
Yep.
And I want to hear what they have to say. See if I agree or disagree. Then maybe I can go back home and talk to the youngins and hear what they have to say if I share this podcast with them or not. You know, based on what you guys have to say to us.
What did gas mask say? I also don't know what a harem is. So if any of y'all want to tell me, feel free. I can't say that I do as well. Sorry. That's new to me.
Thank you, Jane. This panel was interesting concept. Oh, gas mask said, anywho. Ooh, is that shade gas mask?
Yes, we both have children. We're actually boy moms. I have 3 boys and
I have 2. Yes, I do.
Yes.
What about you, Jane?
Do you have children, Jane? Or any of you? What do you think about polygamy?
I'm not a fan.
For me.
I am not a fan. No,
do you, boo? But not for me. I ain't got the time nor the energy nor the bail money. Okay.
Right?
Okay. Does height matter?
No,
not to me. My husband. I've been married to my husband for 13 years. We've been together 21, 3 children together, and he stands every bit of 6'8" in my mind. But in reality, he's about a strong 5'7", and it's never been a problem. No. You want to measure their integrity and their heart, not their height. Okay?
Tim is describing a harem.
She said she have 2 boys and a girl. Okay. What are their ages, if you don't mind me asking?
Okay, gas mask. 4'7", 320.
Oh,
with a great heart. Okay.
All right. And that's somebody for you, boo. You better believe it.
Okay, Jane. She has 2 boys and a girl. Okay. Congrats.
So yeah, we're still waiting for the other ladies to arrive. I'm not sure if they got lost, but
okay.
LP salute.
Okay, we can see them up here.
Where?
With the checks up there at the top.
Okay. Yeah, this is all new to me. So
yeah, this is new to us, by the way. Yes, indeed.
So what are some of you guys' perspective? What do you guys think about the topic? You guys haven't said much directly in response to it. Is modern dating just practice for divorce and cheating? Yes or no? Let's see how many we can get. Who says yes? Who says no? Girl is 27, boys are 30,
here it
42.
goes.
Oh, you don't get your children are grown.
Okay, so Gas Mask says he don't think so. Lord Punisher said yes. Oh, okay.
What do you think of people being divorced? I mean, things just don't work out sometimes.
Yeah, sometimes
Yeah,
it just don't work
It just
out.
doesn't work out.
You know, but you get back into dating. Why not?
Yep.
You've done it before. You can do it again.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to suggest dating more than one person at a time.
Cast the water net.
I'm just saying, because time is something you can't get back.
Right.
If you spend all your time on that one person, dating him for an entire year, and you find out that person is not for you.
She said, do you think people married before can have a successful marriage in the future? Yes, absolutely. If they want it. I think someone said that earlier in the thread. You have to want it. Absolutely. You definitely have to want it first, though.
Horrible foundation for monogamous. No, Tim.
Hi.
If you want a monogamous relationship, you better get the right one.
How you doing?
Hey.
Nice to meet you.
All right, nice to meet you. Good to have you on the pod. Thank you so much for making the time. What's up, everybody? Okay, and then you have that piece of paper. Let me just pass it to you. Give yourself a quick intro for everyone out there. Go ahead.
Hello, my name is Bandy. I am African American and Cuban. I am 26 years old. Currently, I am unemployed. Currently, I am a full-time student for business accounting and business law, a full-time model, and a full-time artist. Status, what does that mean?
Relationship status.
Oh, I'm in a relationship. My man here, my man.
All right.
What you look for, like in a person?
Long term for relationship.
Mainly somebody that I can relate to, mainly because I'm from Oakland. So some people don't really like hood girls or ghetto girls sometimes. So I prefer to be with somebody that can like understand like who I am and where I come from. Okay. Secondly, someone that can deal with people's mood changes. Okay. I'm one of those girls who I cry, I laugh, I joke, I play. So someone that can deal with me all around. Someone that's loving, willing to provide, stuff like that.
All right, sounds good. Thank you so much, and shout out to you.
Thank you.
All right, thank you so much for joining. All right, appreciate you guys, and we have like 2 more guests joining. So when they get here, I'll be able to add them on. But I'll pass it back to the panel. But Brandy, the conversation we're having today is the topic for tonight is modern dating, just practice for divorce and cheating. So let me just play this clip real quick for you because I know you just got here for some context. This is a clip I saw that was trending online, and then I'll play the clip and I'll pass it back to you just to give your perspective, what do you guys think, and I'll pass it back to the panel, and we can continue the discussion that we were having right before she got here. Okay, so this is the clip I saw that was online.
About how current dating is just practicing for divorce. We have very little kind of ethics and cultures that create a long-lasting marriage, and we're teaching people exactly how to get divorced, how to have short-term connections, how to move on quickly, how to break up and then start again, how to have very little attention and patience. So we're creating an environment and a culture where we have perfect candidates for divorce, unfortunately.
Why do you think that is? Do you think it's largely due to social media?
I think it's massively had a huge impact because more so than anything, it's reduced our desire to invest in people. Everybody seems disposable. You can quickly send a message to somebody else, you can quickly move on, you can quickly post a picture and new people will come into your DMs. So there is no motivation to make things work when they get tricky. So that's why, and social media hasn't been ideal for relationships.
So that was a clip I saw. A lot of people were talking on the comments back and forth. But yeah, what's the response to that video? But also, what's your opening thoughts about the topic? The way people date today, the current dating market, is it just building people to practice long-term successful marriages, or just practicing people for divorce and cheating?
Honestly, I think it's both. Coming from a girl that really didn't grow up with social media, like most people grow up on Facebook, MySpace, stuff like that.
Yeah.
I spent a lot of my childhood in like juvenile hall and group homes, so I didn't really get the like dating experience like on social media. So personally, I would say no, but then I could say yes for the generation because on social media there's all these like stigmas and like different like opinions about what a relationship is supposed to look like, and most of these opinions are coming from people that are older or been in bad situations, not necessarily good situations. Like even the ones that are in good situations, they always kind of talk about where they started and like how bad it was. No one really like practices like you say, like no one really practices like being married or like being committed to someone. Like for the most part, people just date and think that just because we date and I don't like something that you do or I don't like the certain colors you wear, then I can just go find somebody else. Like people don't stick to what they are already working at anymore. Like no one is like invested in doing the same thing with the same person all the time. People think it's easier to move along.
Okay. All right. Fair enough. Thank you so much. All right. Thank you for sharing. Thank you for making the time. I appreciate you having on the pod and being part of the panel. But I'll pass it back to the ladies as a group discussion. We were talking about right before I left. We were talking about dating multiple people at the same time. So for some people, think that's the best way to. If your outcome is marriage, if your outcome is finding a good partner, if your outcome is building a strong foundation of a good family, do you guys think that the dating multiple people at the same time is the best way to get that outcome? Because I've heard the conversation. I've had people on this panelist before where they said that they were talking to 5-10 people at the same time, right? So my only pushback with that is because I know, right? My only pushback with this, I think intentional dating, when you know exactly what you want and you're looking for certain qualities that aligns with you to find compatibility with somebody, then you're going to be very selective on making sure, because one thing we don't want to do is spend years of a time being wasted with multiple people. So if you don't want to waste your time, why don't just be very selective and making sure that you're only going to date somebody that has the very things that you look for long term, the same vision, but also has the same values that you guys have, so that way you're compatible, and then you can focus on that. But
being selective, it shortens your dating pool. It shortens your dating group that's available to you. So I do understand why some people choose to date 3 people or 5 people at a time, because it's different. Each person is going to show you different things. Each person is going to give you a different piece of the world or things that you may not see in yourself. And maybe one person is doing it the way that you like, and the other person doesn't do it the way that you don't like. So it's it gives you like the essence of learning yourself too at the same time while dating all these people, because you have all these different opinions of how are you acting as a woman, how are you carrying yourself, how do you talk to people, are you understanding, are you nurturing? I think dating a lot of people was helpful.
And also
because you want to select. How could you be selective when you don't have a variety? Right. You know what I'm saying? Like, but once you've identified the most valuable candidate,
your top 3.
Hello.
Okay.
Top 3.
Yes.
Once you've identified your strong connections, right? Then you start dwindling down, and then you say, okay, you start getting more and more serious and say, okay. And then, like I said, you got to be transparent with those 3 people. If you rocking with them like that, it's only fair. Like, listen, y'all are this is what it is. But once it starts dwindling down, they'll see who most of our time is going to, because whoever you rocking with and who you feeling and who you love, your time is gonna go with that person.
And everybody they always bring their representative. They always bring their representative.
Yep, that's that mask.
They don't bring the real one.
Absolutely.
And you get rid of the representative and you keep the real one. That's how it works.
Okay.
I just feel like
you have to have something to choose from.
Yeah, I feel like when you, like you said, when you shorten your dating pool, you pick those 3 people that you want or 2 people that you want. It kind of gives you like the sense of, okay, well, maybe if this person does one thing and this person does another thing, which one do I prefer, or who did the situation the best? What can I deal with? What do I want to deal with?
Yep. That's those standards that you talked about. You know, those boundaries. Yeah.
So, okay, I think I have an idea what you're talking about. So for me is, you don't want to limit yourself when it comes to dating pool. I do understand that. What I'm saying is, okay, so say you find 2 men that's attractive, right? So you go on 2 dates with both of them, and then when you go on those 2 dates, that's when you guys have that conversation to see if this is somebody I want to go with long term. Okay. And then once you figure it out, dating two people, then you have to make a decision who you want to invest your time with, going to 2 weeks, a month, 2 months, 3 months, 5, 6 months. My thing is, if you're dating somebody for long periods of time, multiple people, long period of time, I don't think that's the best effective way to date.
Okay,
No.
so you said you find two men that are attractive.
Yeah.
So you're already thinking about what you think we're thinking about.
Exactly.
You're on the wrong page.
Mm-hmm.
You are totally on the wrong page.
What do you mean?
We're looking for, if we're looking for marriage, we're
It's
looking
beyond
for
attraction.
marriage.
Don't
It's
start it.
beyond attraction.
It's
right.
beyond
Right.
attractive.
Mhm.
We're looking for marriage, and so and it's different for men.
Yeah.
Men
Men do look for attraction.
It's so
Men don't
subjective.
want to.
Mhm.
Men don't want to date women who date multiple men,
Mhm.
but women are left to date men
Mhm.
who date
Who've been in the
multiple
streets.
women.
Yeah.
In these streets.
And that's all there is.
Yeah.
And so, buck up.
Yeah. Okay.
All right.
No. When I say attractive, I don't mean just a physical
but
attractive. Yeah.
I'm just saying,
Yeah.
you guys can't handle what we handle.
Mm-hmm.
This is what we left with.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And therefore, we're willing to deal with it.
Yeah.
Deal with the fact that we gonna date multiple men.
See, I can say this, like for my situation, when I first started, like I'm in a relationship now, but when I first started, I was dating 3 guys at once.
Yeah.
One was a chef, one is my boyfriend now, who is a barber and,
Yeah.
a DJ as well. And the other guy was just a regular working guy, worked at the Port of Oakland. Don't get me wrong. Everybody made good money. Everybody looked good. It wasn't about what they were doing for me necessarily on the surface. Like you said, it was more so about how they dealt with my son behind closed doors. I have a 5-year-old child. It was about how they showed up for family events, for funerals, birthday parties. It was about what time they came home or to come visit. Are you coming before 8 o'clock or are you coming after 8 o'clock? It's about when you're not with me, do you text me good morning? Do you text me good night? Do you even consider asking me, have you ate today? I'm dating multiple guys to see who has the biggest care and concern for me and my well-being. I'm not dating you because you look good. I'm gonna date 100 niggas if that's the case. But yeah, I don't think it's about that. I think really when you date most people, you're trying to figure out, it's like, who's doing it the best? Who's doing it the greatest? Who does it to where I feel secure? I think that's
Who am I most compatible with?
Yeah.
That's right.
No. So I can agree with you with this. So say you met 3 people, right? So for me, dating is the vetting process. That's what dating is for me. So you date, because if you're dating intentional, if you're dating for something long term, then the purpose of dating is to making sure that this is the person that I can go in a long term relationship with, right? So say you meet 3 men, right, and you want to date them. If you want to date with them multiple times, maybe the first 2-3 weeks, but I think a couple of weeks is enough time for you to have conversations.
But that's your timeline.
Yeah.
That's your timeline.
Well, no. What I'm
We
saying
just
is it could be
said-
different. It could be different about it. It could be
different,
weeks.
right?
It could be months.
Okay.
But what I'm saying is it doesn't take a year for you to figure out if this is somebody I'm going to be going
enough.
long term.
Fair enough.
All right. So what I'm saying is eventually there's going to be a long period of time when you're dating. When you're dating,
it took a year for me and my boyfriend even to get to where we are right now, and we've been together for 2.5 years. But it took the whole first year for us to come to a common ground and understanding that this is what we both want.
Yeah.
Because even though I may have wanted it at 3 months, at 6 months, that doesn't mean that's what he wanted,
Yeah.
or vice versa. If he wanted it at 2 months and I wasn't mentally there yet, then we're gonna be stuck on this path of, okay, are you gonna stick beside me until I'm ready? The whole year, the first 2 years. Stuff like that.
And you looked up 10 years and passed you by.
Yeah, because I was,
And he
with my son
ain't put a
for
ring
5.
on it.
Yeah,
I know.
Nobody got time. Women are not. Men too. Those whoever end goal is marriage don't have time.
Yeah.
Don't have the time to just be playing and waiting and thinking maybe is she, will he? No, you have to be upfront, intentional, like you said.
Yeah.
Is this what we're doing or no? Like what?
And
what
then
we
even
doing?
then though, because sometimes guys will come in intentionally want to get married, want to be in a relationship, but it becomes too much for the woman because now I'm still a girlfriend, but you want me to do all this wifely duties. I gotta be here, cook, clean, take care of your kids, go to your mama house, bring your mama lunch. I don't want to do all of that if it's still in girlfriend boyfriend stage. But a lot of these men that are prepared for that expect that from us young women or even us older women because they think that that's what you've already been through. That doesn't mean that's what I want. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And that is not for everyone. That is not for you to give to everyone.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
I
That's that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, okay,
Yeah,
so
that treatment is reserved for your husband.
Your marriage.
Okay.
Mhm.
Yes.
So when you guys talking about multiple, so talking to multiple people at the same time, right? No.
We don't say, oh, God, it's already coming back to the quantity of it all, honey. It's about the numbers.
Yeah.
Huh?
No, because here's the thing is
Oh, yeah.
there was a time there's things we can compare, right? So there was a time traditionally where people was intentionally dating. So like traditionally back in the day, people were intentionally dating. Yeah, they got married before they had sex. They got married before they had children, right? So we didn't see a lot of the problems that we see today compared to traditional times. So I think that in every generation we can take the good and leave the bad.
Mhm.
So the good thing about the traditional times where I do agree back in the day, you didn't have a lot of options back in the
Right,
day.
I
So
was
there was
just
a lot
gonna
of
say
societal
that,
pressure,
right.
family
Mhm.
pressure.
Mhm.
So there wasn't a lot of options. So the beauty of today is that we have a lot of options.
Mhm.
We get to choose. But I think what we can take from the past is their way of being intentional works.
Mhm.
So if you know exactly what you want, if you have the values and you know the things that you're looking for, be very selective. Say you find 2-3 people that have those things that you look for, and then you can date them. I'm not saying having sex with them. I'm saying just date them, go on multiple dates, have those hard conversations, ask them what their plans are, what their goals are. Look at their life, look at the way they move their lives to make sure that their behavior is representing the very things they say.
Mhm.
And also just look at the reciprocation of how they treat you, right? So if you're giving your time to them, see how they respond
Right.
and making sure they're reciprocating. Some guy may not, is always busy, but there's another guy who's making time for you,
Mhm.
right? So those are things you can look for. So out of those 3 people, okay, I found the guy, maybe a couple of weeks, maybe a couple of months, it could be different for everyone.
Mhm.
But now that you find the person that you really want, then you intentionally make sure that this is somebody you cut the other 2,
Absolutely.
but then you move on, right?
Yes.
But-
Once that's been determined.
Correct.
Yeah.
I agree.
Yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely. There's no argument there. I don't think we were any of us. Were
But this is
saying
my
that.
thing. This is my only question, right? So once we get to that point, right, and you have chosen your person,
Mhm.
right? How do you ensure, or how do you continue to make sure that that's what y'all end game is together? Because just because you chose that person for that reason, how long does that last? A reason, a season, or a lifetime? That's my question. Because then if it's only for a reason, okay, cool, you're dating me because of what I look like, because of how much money I have, because of my statue, stuff like that. Or are you here for me because you want to be with someone intentionally for the rest of your life?
Yeah.
Mm.
I mean, that's where
I would hope
go ahead.
that timeline, that whole time he was courting you and dating you and spending his time with you, his efforts, his resources, I would hope that would have been sufficient enough to let you know and be able to rest in that. Okay, this man he done told me he was for me. He's been showing me that he's for me. Now it's up to me to go out, because love, let's just be real, love is a risk, y'all. Love is a gamble.
Okay.
You're saying I'm gonna trust you with my heart for this time because you told me and you've been showing me that you will steward it well. That's a risk. It's scary, but we got to be willing to take that risk if that person is worth it.
Yeah.
You see, we're scared to do that. A lot of times we are scared, men and women. That's a scary ride.
That's
you
a
know,
fact.
I'm completely being vulnerable and allowing you to have full access to my soul. That's scary to do. But to answer your question, you won't know until you take the ride. You just got to be willing to take the ride. But that person, hopefully that vetting time made you confident in believing that he is worth that time. Because I don't think nobody going to waste so much time.
Yeah.
They're not going to invest so much time, energy, and resources if they're playing games.
Yeah.
You know?
And that right
and you
there
should be able to
is
see
the
that
answer to your
up front.
question.
That is the answer.
What?
And that's the
About
answer
the
to your
divorce.
question.
About
That's the
divorce and
answer
cheating.
right there. We're done.
That was a great answer.
That's the answer to your question.
So how can you gauge? So, I just want to ask you guys this question. So if you're dating multiple people, 3 to 5, say 3 to 5 people at the same time, how can you gauge that they are really committed? And how can you, and I'm assuming that, I'm assuming that you're not having sex with every single person that you're dating, right?
Hopefully one.
Okay. All right.
I mean, you never know people's business.
Well,
if they that's their business.
I'll be honest.
Hopefully
Hopefully
one.
one.
Hopefully one.
But let's have a real conversation. if people have multiple options, both men and women, especially in 2024, let's be honest, most people are having sex with multiple people. So the thing is for me, so what's the question? Are we practicing for people with divorce and cheating? So if people are having sex with multiple people, they haven't fully vetted thoroughly to make sure that this is the person I want to have responsibility. If it's a child,
I see exactly what you're saying.
Is sex not vetting? Is sex not a part of vetting?
But I think he's saying
not
that
really.
having sex with multiple people is not necessarily conditioning you
It
for
doesn't,
monogamy.
and it creates you to
It's
have
That's what I'm saying.
those
It's not
other people
conditioning
that
you.
makes it hard for you to
That's
choose
what I'm
your
saying.
right person. I get that part.
So that's
sometimes.
hopefully not. Hopefully one.
Hopefully one.
Yes.
so that's why I still believe in the intentional doing one person at a time, right? Find somebody, date them. If you don't like it, move on to the next person. The thing, dating multiple people in the generation, most people are having sex, being sexually active. There's so much risk. What if you have a baby with this person?
Yeah.
So the person that you really haven't vetted thoroughly. So we ignore all the risk that comes with sex. So if you're doing it, if you're dating the way you're dating without sex, I can agree with you. But I do understand we're human, and we do understand there's gonna be times where you just want to have sex, or that you just want to. And the thing,
But
that's
I
the
feel
thing.
like that's why with all of them, you better pick one person that you feel like you like the most, that you trust, that y'all can share medical information with.
Come on.
And that's the person that you should have relations with. And then if anything changes from there and you find that person wants to have sex with other people outside of you and that's y'all agreement, then that makes sense.
I know.
But this day and age, we have these what do you call them? These lustful friendships.
Yeah.
They're not even related, they're friendships, because these people that you probably hang out with and probably didn't hung out, got drunk, high, went to go for a walk, and now you in the mood, your hormones is up and going, and now you did something with your friends, like, but it'd be a lustful situation. It don't necessarily be somebody that you're dating, like, like that'd be another situation too. Like,
because if a man tells you I'm dating three to five women, right? How do you know
he
that
would not even be seriously considered? Period.
Well,
I'm just saying if that were me, like
no, I'm talking from her standpoint. I'm talking from her standpoint. Her standpoint, right?
Question would be, what is your intentions with these women? Like, are you dating them just to talk to them? Are you bored? Like, what is your intentions? Especially with me, if you're talking to all these women, that would be my question.
Well, what I'm saying is because her
okay, now
you said that dating 3 to 5 people.
Right? Now, is there intent for marriage, or is it just for dating?
That's what I'm saying. Is it just dating? Just having fun?
That would be the question. Is he dating me and these other 2 women
for fun?
For fun, or the intent for marriage?
So no, it's
and if he tells you that he's dating you, intent to marry you, but he's dating other women, that's
no, because you can literally date 3 people. You want to get married, but you're not going to waste your time dating some loser that you think is a winner, and then later on, 2 years down the line, it's like, oh my God, this dude right here is not worth a piece of whatever, and I wasted all my time. And that's my whole thing, because I've been married and the works, and it was great. Now I'm dating, and I'm not dating with the intent to marry, but I don't have a problem with getting married again. But if I were to get married again, I would not want to date a guy for 10 years with the intent to marry.
Yeah, that's true.
And waste my entire
that's
time
where the
on him.
transparency comes up.
You know what I'm saying? And it's like, oh my God, and wasting my time to find out that he done got a child over here, a woman over here. And I had wasted my whole entire time on him while he's wasting some time on somebody else.
Yeah.
So that's my whole thing, because
so the thing is for me is I do understand date with intent, right? And make sure
and I'm dating with intent.
Yeah.
And you're transparent about
and I'm transparent about it. But his intent.
The question I want to ask you is, because we do understand, let's be honest, right? People lie. Men lie, right? Women lie, but men lie as well. So if you're transparent, the man's transparent. The man says, you know what? I'm dating 3 to 5 people. He tells you the exact same thing. I'm dating 3 to 5 people. And you said, I'm intentional. He also says, I'm intentional. How can you know that he's telling the truth?
His actions, the way that he moves from there forward. Speaking from my personal situation, like I said, I was dating probably 3 to 5 guys already. Yeah. My relationship with those 3 to 5 guys turned into a positive relationship with me and 2 guys, which in turns to me being in a relationship with my boyfriend now. Yeah. So it really was about, along the way, understanding what we both wanted in the relationship. I felt like our bond was more strong we were more connected spiritually, emotionally, even through Christ. Like I feel like certain situations were just happening that drew us more together versus the other person, versus the other people that was involved. You know what I mean? So I feel like it's really about the communication between both of you guys. And you can't just always put it all on the guy or the girl, because if y'all both don't have the same intentions, nothing's going to change. Y'all going to keep sleeping with multiple people because that's what y'all comfortable doing. That's what y'all already started out as, which is having a relationship with multiple people while still talking to each other. So if y'all not both willing to change that, then there's no point of y'all even having an intent to date in the first place.
So, okay. So, I mean, I do believe in general, most people want to find one good relationship, right?
Absolutely.
They don't want heartbreak. So my thing is, when you're dating multiple people, which I'm more in the traditional sense, do one at a time. But for me, is how can you gauge that person is honest if it's giving you multiple attention to multiple people, but also there's when you're dating multiple people, when you finally decide the person I want to be with, you're gonna cut off four people, right?
Yeah, you
sure do.
All right,
sure did.
But the thing is, here's the thing: either you gonna cut off 4 people that generally wanted to be with you, and then they're gonna get heartbroken, or you're gonna be that person where you generally like this person, and then you wanted to move on with them, but he decided to go with this other person, and then he breaks your heart.
That's all part of the risk. That's all a part of the gamble.
That's exactly what that is.
Is that the best way to go about it, though?
Absolutely.
I mean, it's a process that has to work itself out.
It wasn't meant to be.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Some things are made for a reason, a season, or a lifetime. It's just that simple. Some people just don't know how to move on. That's the problem. And then people try to
don't
make
know how to don't know how to sit with that pain
Rejection.
and process through it.
Yeah,
that's what that is. I think that's really, people are mad scared out here about being hurt.
Yeah,
or being alone.
What you have to understand, and you said something so pivotal, and I thank God that you said it. You said your relationship with Christ, you and your boyfriend. That's what didn't I say that at the top of this?
They showed it.
Yeah.
I said at the top of this that you have to have God in the center
relationship
of it all, or else you won't even be willing to open up your physical eyes much as your spiritual eyes without him. You can't, and you're gonna forever be self-indulgent, self-preserving, just lifting yourself up high about but not only above the man, but above the relationship. You have to have God in it. You have to. That's the only way you're gonna remove yourself from it and see it from their perspective too, and try to work towards a common ground.
And when we're having this conversation about dating multiple people, the only reason why I'm against it is because we're assuming that this person, if you're dating multiple people, that you're going to be transparent and be honest with say you're dating 5 people, right? But out of those 5, there's one you really like the most, right? But at the end of the day, you're not going to be honest with the other 4 that you really like this person. You're gonna play along with them. I'll still go with you. I'll still go on a date. But then eventually, when you're ready to cut off everybody else, you're gonna just like ignore them, or you just won't contact them, just move on with the person you really want to be with. So my thing is that
be transparent.
Well, what I'm saying is you can, but I'm saying most people in this situation can't be transparent.
People don't, especially the men.
Both men and women. So when you're dating 5 people, everybody is gonna find one they like the most, and the other 4 you're gonna be like, I'll play along with this person. But this is my pushback is, for me, it's playing games, because the other 4 guys you're seeing, they're taking you on dates. They're paying for your dates, they're paying for your dinner.
Not necessarily.
But let me
they don't do that.
Well, I understand, but they're investing their time.
You paying half, or you paying your
but they're investing their time, right? In their mind, they're still, okay, I have a shot with this person, but you're dating multiple people. But in your mind, there's one of them you like the most, and that's the one you really want to get. I'm just playing along. I'm playing along with these other 4 just in case this doesn't work. I'll go to option 2, option 3, option 4. My issue is these people are still investing into you, and I think for me that's kind of manipulative, because you already know what you want long term, because you found the one you really like, but you're hoping it works. And then once you find out that this is the one you want, you're gonna cut off all these people, and all these people had the assumption that this is something going long term, but you never communicated that.
Listen, it's okay to break up with a person. If you decide guy number 4, it's not the one for you, this relationship is over.
No, he said that you never communicated that part.
Yeah, exactly.
That's the part that
He'll be out here not being honest.
Honest. So say you date 5 people, right? But you know the guy number 5 is the one you want the most, and then You're
dragging 4 people.
Yeah, you're dragging 4 people
when
along.
You should have just picked guy number 5 to begin
But
with.
but the guy number 5 is also has options.
Mhm.
He has 4 guys of dating, so he's entertaining. So you're waiting for him to commit to you.
So
Then no, that's too
foul.
much. That's
It's no-
wait. You went too far. Because now you saying we're waiting for him to commit to us. That's not what the conversation is about. The conversation was about you dating somebody, y'all both agree. But if he wants me to wait for him to get it together and I'm willing to cut everybody off, I'm not choosing number 5. Let me go on back down my list and see who else is on this list. Because I'm not about to wait for you to get it together. I'm telling you in my intent, and you don't listen, and you tell me also on date 3 to 5 women. You go ahead and do that because I've done my dating and I chose you. You have not chosen me, so it's time for me to move along.
Yeah, but that's my pushback of dating multiple people, because instead of finding somebody that's ready to go right now and fully invest, if you're dating multiple people, you often find people that are not really to go long term because you have options, especially for men and women. It goes both ways. So if you're looking for a marriage, if you're looking for something long term, why don't you just find individually date one at a time to find somebody that's ready to go long term?
Everything that sparkle is not a diamond, baby. Just because you think it look good on the outside and make you feel good, it may not be good for you. That's why. Sometimes you have to be around it and indulge in it and experience it, smell it, touch it, taste it, your 5 senses to figure out what you really want.
Yeah. No, but that's the thing. What the women are saying is they're doing the cat. That's what they're doing now.
That's why I'm against that single dating.
They're but the thing is,
give me 3 of them. Let me pick.
No, I got you. I got you. But the divorce rates and the statistics of marriage doesn't reflect that. So that's the trend today. The trend today is people dating multiple times. But look, if you look at the statistics, the marriage rates are higher than ever. Kids out of wedlock is higher than ever. Kids being raised in single parent was higher than ever. So what is the justification? So if you're saying that this works, then the long-term relationship and marriage should reflect that.
A lot of those factors come into the economic situation that's going on around us too. Number 1, taxes are high as hell. Number 2, rent is skyrocketing for no reason. Number 3, a gallon of milk is $7, the same amount as gas. Like a lot of these reasons of why the world does not want to be married and committed to someone is because how the economics is working by itself. Who wants to deal with someone who's giving you half of what you want, regardless of whether y'all love each other or not, you're married or not? You're doing half of what half the world is doing. I will go find someone else with a new marriage and a new life to figure it the fuck out. Like on some real shit. Because after a while, whether it's the man or the woman, someone's going to get tired of the bare minimum. Motherfuckers don't want to deal with that. I don't. I don't care how long we've been married. If I feel like I'm in a bare minimum situation, just because it started off good at a high doesn't mean it's going to stay at a high. You get what I'm saying? So I don't think necessarily it can always play factors into, oh, I was bad in my relationship. Okay, what about this nigga can find a job for 6 months and I can't wait no more? What about because she feel like she wouldn't have 5 kids after we already had 3 of them? Now I want to get a divorce because you don't understand that I'm sick and tired of paying bills. Like, it'd be other reasons, not just necessarily about the relationship itself. It could be, I don't like your mama. Your mama always come over here disrespecting me. Now I want a divorce.
Everything is not based
off of how bad
infidelity
person,
or you know, or somebody, you know, it's
or
not all,
that's not the
only
because
issue.
These divorce rates, I get it. And a lot of this other stuff is due to criminal activity. A lot of our young African-American men are being murdered left and right, from the police to their friends, to the family, to randomly. I'm a victim of that situation. I trust me, I don't want to have 2 baby daddies. But because that man is upstairs and I'm here by myself, I will have 2 baby daddies, not just be married 3 or 4 times. But that's the way that my life cycle ended up. I didn't put myself in that situation. You get what I'm saying? So am I at fault because now I have 2 baby daddies? Right. No, I'm not. That's just how the world works. It's how my economic situation turned out to be. Divorce is not always based off of a relationship and how someone else or we treat each other or how we acted.
I mean, I don't want to go in that way. What I'm saying is, if people today have multiple rosters, right? So I have a question I want to ask you guys. Do you guys find it very attractive and very important, especially when it comes to long-term partner, for a man to be sexually disciplined? Do you guys that's very important for a man for a long-term marriage?
Absolutely.
Okay. What you mean sexual discipline?
Sexual discipline.
To only have sex with you?
Yeah, that's what I did.
Yes. When you're married?
You're married, yes.
Absolutely.
So if your goal is marriage.
Okay, I'm sorry. I believe in poly, so.
Okay, so that's different.
Oh,
so that's
they
different.
asked that question too.
Okay.
Didn't they ask that question? What are your thoughts about?
Yeah, they did.
No, I believe in poly.
Okay, so that's different.
No.
Because
I may want to invite someone else in the bedroom because I want a little spark. It's not necessarily about him or nothing else, but it's to keep the relationship. I feel like it keeps the relationship fresh in that bay. Like it gives you guys a sense of knowing what each other wants outside of what you do on a regular basis.
Yeah.
Marriages last like that all the time. Sometimes people go sit at the park and paint. Sometimes people go to the movies and take trips every summer.
Yeah.
Some people invite other people into their home.
Mhm.
It just
Okay.
depends on what makes your relationship and your marriage keep that spark.
Okay. So I understand if you're poly, then that's a different conversation.
Somebody asked me.
But I'm talking about people, but I don't think most people are like you. I think
Yeah.
most people, majority of men and women, they just want a monogamous relationship. They can't handle the extra partner. So that's fine. That's what you want. But I'm saying is that people are looking for one partner, a monogamous relationship. And you want your man to be sexually disciplined. We agree, right?
Yes.
You want your man to be fully committed to you, right?
Yes.
Yes.
And no one he doesn't give his attention. Nobody else except you.
Mhm.
You're the priority in this life to make sure he fulfills. So my question to you is, how can you gauge that when you're dating multiple options for yourself as a woman, but you're dating with a man that has multiple options, giving his time and energy to multiple women? How can you gauge that?
That's the
If he's dating
difference
multiple
between
people.
I feel
dating
like
and marriage.
when you truly know what you want,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Like without a doubt what you want. It's easy to discern that in the person that you're dating.
Yeah.
It's easy to discern whether or not this person is full of crap or if this person is being genuine in his
Yeah.
pursuit of you.
Yeah.
You don't have to wonder and guess and second guess, well, is it running through a research project? Like you don't have to do all of that
Yeah.
because you can feel it in your soul. You can feel it in
Yeah.
your heart. That person is where they spend their time. Like I said, you want to know what somebody value, follow their money and their time, follow their money and their time.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's going to show you who they
And they
value.
kids.
Okay.
Yeah.
So if he's spending his time with you, he doesn't have a problem with spending resources. Not that you require it, but just because it shouldn't be an issue, right? If he loves your children, he displays that.
Mhm.
It's not rocket science to figure out, hey man, this man is really into me. This could be something
You know.
serious.
Yeah.
You know when you know.
Somebody's into you.
A
I know,
theologian,
but
I
that's-
don't know his name, but he said he wrote a song that called "When a Man Loves a Woman."
Mhm.
There is nothing you have to wonder about it, and it goes out the same way for a woman.
Yeah.
When a woman really loves a man,
Mhm.
you're not going to question it.
I
It's
know.
going to be evident, and you just got to trust
And
it.
take that risk.
You got to take that risk. It's a risk.
Yeah, but okay. I mean, for me, the thing is, for me, is like if a guy's talking to 4 or 5 girls and dating 4 or 5 girls, and all 5 girls are dating him, if being honestly being genuine, most guys lack sexual discipline. We can agree with that. Most guys don't have that discipline.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
So we have an understanding
If
that
it's accessible, they gonna get it.
exactly. So if
And they out here giving it.
Exactly.
Okay.
All
right, so-
Absolutely.
so if a guy is dating 4 to 5 girls and all the 4 of the guys find him attractive,
Mhm,
let's be honest, he's having sex with all of them.
Yeah.
All right.
mhm.
So that means he has no sexual discipline, but you're still engaging with him, hoping that he's gonna be that long-term good monogamous
That's
partner.
the risk.
Okay, and then that's when, like I said, that's when the discernment comes in, and you got to decide: are you going to continue to allow him to do this? Is it okay with you or not?
Yeah.
You at some point you got to make some decisions.
Yeah.
At some point.
He has to make a decision.
Yeah.
And if you're worthy of that decision,
Mm-hmm.
he'll make that decision.
But so if he's dating you and other girls, right? Let's be honest, he's also having sex with you. Let's be honest, right?
Absolutely.
We've already established that we understand that.
But
Yeah,
is it-
we
but-
know that part.
Like, you
Okay.
having a hard time
That's the minimum.
understanding that.
but see, sex is to me. I feel like sex is a big part, but it's so minimum because everybody is doing it, and the first thing a person say is, "Oh, well, I use the condom, so I'm good." That's the first excuse that someone has because they use the condom. I'm good, but everybody's having sex.
Here's the thing. I wanna
Every
push.
single person.
Here's the thing. You're having sex with a guy that's having sex with you with other women.
Mhm.
So there's a potential that he could get all you guys pregnant.
So this is what I would suggest for you, because I feel like this is for you,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
You're dating with the intent of marriage, right?
Yeah.
I would suggest one of your requirements be abstinence, because it's very serious for you.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
I understandably so. It would
Yeah.
be very serious for me.
Yeah.
So if I'm seriously courting one person who I'm seriously considering marrying, I'm
Yeah.
going to say, okay, henceforth, look, it's you right now. It's
Yeah.
all you right now.
Yeah.
So this is what I want. This is what I'm proposing to do to solidify
Yeah.
what I'm telling you.
Yeah.
I'm willing to refrain from sex for however amount of time.
But that's an
Will you
mutual
do the same
agreement.
with me? Here we go.
That's a
course.
mutual
Will you do the
agreement.
same with me? Are you willing to do the same with me? And that's your acid test right there.
Yeah,
Because
that's
if
how
she
you
rocking
know.
what you like that, she gonna say, let's do it.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So there's no more wondering.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, but that works in intentional dating, right? So if I meet I date
It
one
works
person at a
both
time.
ways because even if a person doesn't want to be intentional and you come with some intentional shit, it scared them. They don't want to go. They don't want to be around. when you're being intentional with someone that doesn't want to be intentional, you can tell body language first off. Because guess what? He probably sitting there like this, probably scrolling on the phone while you talking to him. Just pay attention to body language, how someone treats you, how they make you feel. Because as soon as you come with that intent, a person will automatically either turn it on or turn it off. I'm gonna be honest.
Yeah.
If you know how to read people, it'll show up. It'll show up. It may not be the first day, it may not be the second, but it'll show up.
No, what I'm saying is, if if you're dating multiple people and the guy's dating multiple people and the guy's having sex with all the women that he has the options with, why would you put yourself in a situation where he's having sex with multiple people? Because you can get pregnant, other girls can get pregnant, and then you can become that baby mama. So say you're the fourth option, but he really wants to be with number 5. You get pregnant, but he's like, look, I want to be one of number 5. I'm going to drop him and go with the woman I really want to be with. That's the problem with dating multiple people and having sex with them at the same time.
Well, you know,
I see your point.
That's what I'm saying.
I mean, I see his point too.
Yeah.
But
And how many women that look and how many times have I found situations with women that were talking to multiple people, having sex with multiple men, and or be with a guy that has multiple options, is having sex, and they end up becoming the baby mama because
I know
he didn't really
multiple
fully
women
commit.
like that.
Exactly.
And guess what? The women still stick around to be the 3rd or 4th and 5th baby mama, and they be
That's
having
true.
picnics
That's what
and
I'm saying.
parties and living a great life. Sometimes that's what their economic circle end up having to be. It's unfortunate, yes, it is, and it's very unfortunate for those that are intentionally dating and having to come across this type of situation. But I ain't gonna lie, that's economic life. Like people, you cannot all, especially when you're coming from certain backgrounds, certain neighborhoods, urban, you know what I'm saying? Like it's bound to happen, because even though you may be dating this guy and he's living in Oakland, you live in Stockton, the other girl lives in Berkeley. How do you even know that he's even really going over there? How do you know they're even having any type of relations? How do you know they're protecting themselves during those relations? Like you said, you're just kind of like praying and hoping that you get picked. Like,
well, for me, that's why the intentional dating with one at a time is the best situation for you to not only attract the outcome you want with long-term marriage, but to also mitigates all the risks when it comes to being a single mom, when it comes to having children out of wedlock, when it comes to making sure that you have somebody that can be there for you and be ready for the responsibility of being a parent. Is when you vet out men in one at a time and making sure that this is the person that wants the same thing. And in my
I
experience,
don't think that's more time consuming. I gotta date one person for 2 weeks, then another person for 2 weeks, then another person for 2 weeks. I gotta date all y'all in the same 2 weeks to figure out who I want in 2 weeks. Like, I'm not doing that. That's more time consuming. That one-on-one. Oh, I like you this week. Oh, I like you that week. I'm like, they all 3 niggas at once. That's a waste of, that's more time. I got a 5-year-old son. That's too time consuming. I don't have time for that. Do you like me or do you not? Do you want to get married or not? Do you want to have babies or not? Like, what are we doing?
no, because
You don't think that's right?
No, I don't think that.
So you would date one girl for 2 weeks and then date another girl for 2 weeks. You don't think that's dating multiple people? 2 weeks is
no.
Okay, cool. You date one
No,
girl.
I wouldn't date. No, I wouldn't.
2 weeks is a little short.
No.
That's tough. Damn. You give them 2 years. Okay, you give women 2 years.
At least 6 months to a year.
How long are you giving people to date one-on-one?
So if I date somebody, I will have to date them for at least 6 months to a year.
I think that's fair.
That is 2 college semesters, baby. No, sir, you're going to get 1 semester out of me. You got 30 days. Like, remember the old school 60-day rule, 90-day rule?
It's 6 months to a year before I give them my full commitment. All right, so I have to date them. I'll date them. Look.
Before you give them a full commitment.
So you're gonna date one girl for 6 months to a year. One girl.
Yeah, one girl.
And then if you don't choose her, you're gonna tell like, oh, this didn't work out. I don't think we worked out. We dated for a while. It doesn't work.
But
then
you let go her other two.
But then she let go of all her other two because you had the intent of dating for 6 months to a year because it was working out. You guys both had a mutual agreement. Everything's going good, right?
Yeah.
But something about her, you just didn't choose. And you decide that she
didn't choose you.
So, after 6 months to a year. So you're going to just start all over?
So here's my response.
That's when people become 45 and a virgin, 40 years old with no kids.
So
like,
6 months.
That's how that happens.
So when I date first, I'll let them out front. Like, look, before we have a commitment, and this is also for her. It's 6. There's no expectation of a commitment, right? Like a committed relationship. We just met each other. We need to get to know each other more deeply before we have a full commitment. right? So
Mhm.
6 months
No.
to a year. No. This is what I'm saying is 6 months to a year.
Okay.
She can leave if she doesn't feel the relationship. She can leave.
Okay.
If I don't feel the relationship, she can leave.
Okay.
But that's a good. Sometimes we don't even make it to 6 months. Sometimes after 2 or 3 months, I see something that I have based on the conversations we're having.
Mhm.
I've noticed that we don't align when it comes to God. We don't align when it comes to
Yeah.
faith.
Yeah.
We don't align when it comes to our political views. That's what we're having those conversations. So maybe 3 weeks into it, I find out that we align differently when it comes to
But what
our
if you go
political
that whole
views.
year?
Huh?
What if you go that whole
What if
year?
you go that whole year
And then she voted for Donald Trump and you didn't like
she
it?
don't choose you?
But here's the thing. It wouldn't take me a year to.
But what if she don't choose you? What if you chose her after that year?
What if you chose
And she
yeah
didn't
after that
choose
year?
you.
What would you do? How would that make you feel as a man though? Like you put in all that intent and hard work to get to know each other for a whole year.
And she didn't choose you. You
Yeah.
chose her and she didn't choose
She
you.
decides she wants to just go away.
No, so within what's different about me is I have most people with the way most people date in the first couple of weeks of dating. For me, I'm looking for the hard conversations up front.
Mhm.
That's the way I date. A lot of people don't want to date that way, but for me,
It could
it's,
be the simplest thing, and she
So,
lost her
yeah.
job or something, and she doesn't
Yeah.
want to be with you anymore.
yeah.
Like,
So
that's what we asked.
so
you.
once
How
we
would
get
you handle
so
that?
once we get to a year, then we're gonna sit down and be like, look, I think we've been with a year. I told you up front in the beginning when we first met. Then once we get to a year, we have to sit down and then look and see if we're gonna move on,
Mhm.
because I'm not gonna be with somebody after a year if we're not fully committed.
Yeah.
All right. If she says, you know what, I don't want to do it, that's fine.
Okay.
I move on to the next person.
But you wasted a whole year.
Yes, but I don't. But that's a year.
And that's a whole year.
But you're not having sex with this girl either, right? This whole year. So you're
No.
remaining. You guys choose to remain so abstinent because you're not fully committed. So I mean, you shouldn't be having sex.
No, for me, the way for me is 6 months to a year that we can talk about. After 6 months, we'll talk about sex. That's the way I move right now at this
Mhm.
current time of my life.
Mhm.
I didn't practice that before when I was in my 20s.
Yeah.
But now I'm older now. My life is together. I have
Yeah.
a plan. I have things.
So how old are you again?
34.
Okay, 34.
Okay. So for
Okay, so now a year from now, 35,
Mhm.
she don't choose you. 36, she don't choose you.
yeah, but here's the thing.
37,
Yeah.
she don't choose you. And
Mhm.
you dating one girl after another.
Year after
38,
year.
she don't choose you. Now you're gonna start dating two girls.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because now you're down to the wire.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Because now you're gonna start dating girls that make them, unless you want to date really, really young girls because you want to still have children,
Mhm.
or you want to date.
You got to
girls
think about
who
that.
are
Man.
Okay.
Time clock in
Okay,
your head.
okay.
You know
So
what I'm saying?
so
So,
what?
so
So
now
what's
you're gonna start dating older, and now it's kind of like, oh, maybe I should date two girls, maybe or two women, because now you know.
Because now you're getting older, your dating pool is changing. So
Okay.
now you have to seek out, like
But-
you
but-
said, younger women with healthier wombs.
But here's the
or-
thing. I'd rather be in a situation where I can leave a relationship, even if it's only a year.
Mhm.
But number one, I'm not married to this woman, or I don't have kids with this woman.
Mhm.
Right? So that's why I believe in intentional dating.
Mhm.
The thing is with a lot of people is they're dating multiple people, but they are still getting pregnant and having children out of wedlock.
That's true.
So the thing is, okay, so you may date the way you guys date, but you're still having kids with people that don't want the responsibility of being a father.
Mhm.
I'd rather date one by one, but at least I'm not having children out of wedlock. At least I'm not creating a single mom. At least I can walk away. You know what? I'm still by myself, and I can still find somebody I can build a family with. So that's
you're
why my
okay.
issue
So
is.
you're okay dating for 20, 30, 40 years and never finding the right one, dating one person after the other and not having children.
Well, I'm pretty. Well,
I'm not.
no, I'm saying it's
But
not.
you're okay with it if it happens that way.
I'm okay with that. I'm
So
okay
if
with
your
it. But I think
economic
it's
life cycle decides that, okay, you find the love of your life when you're 41 and you're on a trip all the way in Taiwan or Fiji or something, you find your wife. And she just so happens to be the same age as you. That means you guys can't have children. Are you still going to get married even though you guys can't have kids? And
no. If that's off the table if the woman can't have kids. I say that up front.
yeah, see, all that time you was never mind.
No, I'm saying that's. But I'm saying is.
Never mind.
But I'm saying is, I think that method works a lot better because what is their solution to the women who are having children out of wedlock and the men don't want to step up? That's why I have a hard stance.
I don't know. I'm gonna be honest.
Because if you can offer me, whatever you're offering right now that you think is the best way of dating, how do you fix the solution of men and women today having children out of wedlock and ending become single moms?
Mhm.
And that's why for me is as much as
I know
people
a lot
are
of
against
single
for it.
moms who've done well.
All right.
So I
but we don't.
I don't want to. I don't want to down women
I can speak on it because I'm a single mother.
No, I'm saying I understand. I have friends.
How can
I
you
have
actually
family members who are
prevent
single.
it?
How can we prevent it?
Yeah.
We don't want that
Mhm.
as an outcome. Let's be honest, right? So we understand it happens because I have family. I have a family members who are like that. But the thing is, that's not the ultimate outcome that people want in their life. So what I'm saying is, if we're talking about dating multiple options, or just taking your time one by one, and the thing is, that's always the pushback I get from a lot of people. It's too hard, or it takes too much time. Yes, everything in life that's great it's hard to do. So the things that's great in life, it's not easy to come by. So that's why doing the hard things and putting in the work and making those sacrifices and being disciplined, even though it's going to take a longer, but once you get that one thing, it's going to last forever, instead of trying multiple things at multiple given times and it tend to fail often.
I think there is no like one solution for that. Like,
No.
first of all, it has to be an individual thing.
Yeah,
It
yeah.
depends on what that person wants. But I think what part of the problem is, what a huge part of the problem is what we saw in the video, this pseudo instantaneous gratification and this just access galore to so many things, and just, oh, you see a shiny thing here, you see a shiny thing there, and then it's like this fear of missing out, right?
Yeah.
Fear of missing out on whatever you think you're missing out on. So it's hard for people to maybe just reprogram the way they think, you know what I mean, or the way they feel or look at relationships. I think that's where, but it all goes back to, is that what you want to do though? How serious are you about really pursuing a monogamous relationship that leads to marriage?
All right, let me just read the super chat real quick. The Real Podcast says, salute to you, Will. Salute to you. Thank you so much, The Real Podcast. Appreciate you. Thank you for being on the podcast. Appreciate you guys. But yeah, I mean, that we also talk about divorce, is modern day interest practice for divorce and cheating. So if you're dating multiple options, and the guy's having sex with either all of them or most of them, how is that the best way to make sure you find somebody that's sexually disciplined and loyal to you? If they're dating multiple options, and the guys, and most people, which is happening today, both men and women have options, and they're dating multiple people, they're having sex with multiple people. But what they also find is when they find something long term, these people can't commit and be loyal. So that's why for me is the intentional dating works better, because men who are, I have a specific,
and I agree with you. I just want to be clear that I agree with you. If that's your end goal,
if that's your end
marriage,
goal,
a monogamous relationship, then yes, dating one person at a time
is better.
That is that's the plausible way.
And then if you're looking for men who really got plans for their life and they have a purpose, these guys are really invested into building a great future. Based on the men I know who have those qualities, they're not wasting their time chasing women. These guys are very adamant about building success, building a future, making sure that they have a legacy they want to leave behind. These guys are very highly disciplined men, and they're not going out there and chasing women. They just want to build their life and find one good woman that can support them, and they have and align their views and their purpose and make something happen. So that's why oftentimes when you find guys who have the availability and they're chasing multiple girls, talk to multiple girls, I would argue those are probably not the type of guys that have something looking for long term, because they're wasting your energy chasing girls. You should be putting your energy into something productive, which is your future, your plan, and your success.
But that doesn't make sense, because what about all the rappers and basketball players and all of that stuff? That doesn't make sense.
I know, but they don't have the type of marriages that we would want.
I think that's his lifestyle. It's all about your lifestyle.
I'm saying,
right. If that's the lifestyle that you,
because there's NBA players that's been with their wives forever. There's rappers that's been with their wives forever. Am I not right or wrong? We all seen them. Like, there's actors been with their wives since they started in early 1990 something. Like,
but the NBA players,
but I
and
think
rappers,
it's the difference between the caliber of a man and his morals and his values versus his economic success. Right.
But you just said a lot of them that you deal that are these high class men, basically, are these men that are very in tune with who they are. Are they willing to be in tune with someone else and what they care about? Because they be so in tune of being successful and being so great. Do you care? Do they actually even care about dating and the small parts because they're so focused on that?
They do. No, what I'm saying is men who are very focused on their success and their future. What I'm saying is they don't have that time to chase and talk to multiple or date multiple women. So the guys that I know who are like that they only want to find one good woman, and they find one good thing, they'll invest their time to the person that they feel worthy and they can align with their life.
And then if not, they just do whatever.
Well, if it doesn't work, then they move on to the next. It's one by one. They're not working on their career and their purpose and chasing girls, talking to 4 or 5 girls at the same time. They usually just I attract one woman and they vet them out. Okay, this is a good woman that can align with me when I'm trying to go. And then they date that woman and they marry that woman. But they're not going out there chasing 4 or 5 people. And the reason why the celebrities and the NBA players isn't the ideal representation or example you want to use, because we're talking about cheating, right? Often, most celebrities, most NBA players, oftentimes they cheat on their women. So that's why when I'm saying success, I don't mean a millionaire. I'm just saying a guy that's working to make sure that he provides financially for his family, whatever it's multi-millions or just a guy, a blue-collar job, but he's working hard every single day to take care of his woman and his family. So the
a guy who wants that.
Yeah, exactly,
lifestyle.
exactly.
Yeah. Right.
So what I'm saying is the guys who are working themselves to be good men, want to financially take care of their family. They want that responsibility. They wake up every single day to make sure that their family, their woman is taken care of. These guys aren't going out there and chasing 4 or 5 girls. All right. So the guys who lack discipline, who lack morals, and are very successful, yeah, they're successful, but they're still going out there chasing women because they lack morality. They lack the character that most good men don't have. I mean, most good men have. So that's what I'm saying is, if you're dating a guy that's dating multiple options, how is that a good representation of the guy? How can you know that he's going to be loyal to you when his behavior doesn't show that?
Well, it's not necessarily true that he's going to be loyal to you.
Yeah.
But
it doesn't mean that just because you dated one person, they're going to be loyal to you either, though.
Yeah, but that's true. But I am going to say that a man knows a good thing when he gets it.
Yeah.
Okay. And if he really honest and truly wants it, he's gonna have that conversation. Hey, look.
And that's when you become risk adverse.
Okay.
Yeah.
When you know you got something good.
He's
right?
gonna say, hey, look,
you ain't gonna do nothing to jeopardize.
We've been playing this game for a long
exercise
time.
self-control.
Yeah.
Let's settle down. I've been doing me for a long time. You've been doing you. Let's do us. Let's put an end to this.
Yeah.
You know, let's me and you. Let's do it. It happens. It's happened.
Yeah.
I'm letting you know it has happened. So you gotta get in that pool. You gotta fish it out.
Yeah, I don't know. Like I said, I started my intentional dating from being in a situation with multiple people and figuring out what I wanted.
Indeed.
I'm only 26. I'm young. So I was going through a lot at that time. You know what I mean? So I felt like, I don't know. I feel like
You'll figure it out.
Yeah, like you can't actually like, I don't know. For me personally, I couldn't just be like, yeah, I'm dating intentionally. Like, no, I never was. Like, I was just dating to date. But I found someone I intentionally wanted to date while doing that.
Yeah. Okay.
And I felt more secure when we both agreed on it. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because I already knew that we were both with other people. That was a small part of it. It was are you willing to change it for me, for us, for our situation? That's what made me choose him over the other guys.
Yeah. Okay. I had a topic I want to, which is related to this, right? Because we're talking about the divorce and cheating. We understand today that there was a big conversation about if you want long-term marriage, if that's the outcome you want, right? Why don't we require that when it comes to dating? Why are we dating people that don't want to marry you? Why are we having sex with people that don't want to commit to you? Because what I see online is the biggest conversation is men don't want to commit. Men don't want to get married. Men don't want to marry us, right? And the men are saying, well, there are men who want to get married. There are men who want to commit, but there's also men out there who don't want to do that. But the thing is, if you don't require that for a man to have access to you, then that's how you find yourself with certain men or certain situations. I'm a big believer in, I still believe in the traditional times. I think you should vet these men hard and get a commitment from them and have a idea of marriage. But if you don't have that standard, which is a lot of guys, well, if women don't require us for marriage, which women traditionally in the past did, then men don't feel like they have to put in that work anymore to become a good provider. So do you think in general, if the outcome is long-term family and what's best for the children, do you think women today should date and require men to marry, or at least give clarity or where this is going? This is going to lead to marriage.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely. 100%. If that's their goal. Yes.
Okay.
Yes, absolutely.
I feel like it'll make it easier too for both people. Someone coming in, being open
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because I feel like people this day and age are afraid to just come out and just be open. Like, I do want to get married one day. People are just afraid to say that one sentence.
Yeah.
But that one sentence alone could shape your whole relationship and perspective on someone else.
Okay.
And I think it's fear again, fear of not being chosen, fear of if it not working out, just a bunch of fear, just rooted in a bunch of fear.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. But why I'm asking you this question? Why don't we shift to that? Like, what's preventing both men and women to shift to that type of mentality?
One, all you got to do is pick up your phone and you got booty, titty, whatever, all kind of just
easy
crazy foolishness, and
Yeah.
people feel really, and people
Yeah.
feel like they're missing out on something, and they don't want to make that commitment. They don't
Yeah.
want to. Why would I reduce my palate to just one thing when I have a smorgasbord of whatever I want, you know?
Yeah.
So that's why it's about the intention. Is this what you really want for yourself? Do you really want to be in a committed relationship with one person? Because if you are, then you just tune everything else out.
Okay.
And that's going to be, it's going to take an effort though. Like you're
Yeah.
going to have to want it bad enough to do it.
Yeah.
You know?
Okay. Or no, because the reason why I added that, because if people who really want to get married, right, and they really want to find and build a family, and that's why I think the conversation is more than just for practice and divorce and cheating. The people, usually the people that I know for that just that's what the outcome they want is marriage. Usually they're the type of people that they don't want to talk to multiple people. Like they only want to find people who are aligned with that same direction, and they want to go with it. So if marriage is the ultimate long-term goal for everybody, how can the modern dating today situationships, casual hookups, how does that benefit them to prepare them for marriage and long-term? Because the way we see it today, most people are participating in the current situation, which is, hookup culture, Tinder, dating apps, meeting multiple people at the same time. But at the same time, they still want children.
I don't know people who do that.
Me either. I can't say it.
Yeah.
But that is the culture.
That's the culture.
Yeah. Through proximity.
Yeah.
I guess like I said, through social media. But I don't know. I hate to simplify it. It sounds so simple and such a prude, but this is really truly my core.
Yeah.
I feel like if you really truly want to pursue something or someone, you're going to do whatever that's needed to get to that goal.
Yeah.
It shouldn't take all this trying to philosophize everything away and try. It's not that deep.
Yeah.
Do I really want this? Yes, I do. So I'm going to do what's needed to get there. It's just as simple as that.
I don't think we'll be able to really change the stigma of dating as a whole, because I feel like there's never been no real foundation for dating. Okay, let's take Adam and Eve, Moses and his wife, anybody from biblical, if that's what you guys believe in, or even from personal within your own home. Are your grandparents still married?
Yeah.
Are your great grandparents still married? Sometimes examples, people that you've been raised by, be around, are key factors to that too. Some people that are come from married families. They don't want to deal with the argument and the drama and all the headache of being married. And then there's those who come from a single family home who wish they had a dad at home, so they want to be married. So it's I don't know. It's like a 50-50 thing. You never really know what you're gonna get. I'm gonna be honest. Even no matter how hard you intentionally date, no matter how hard we talk about it, no matter how many podcasts we have about relationships, there's so many different outlooks and outcomes for it. There's no foundation for a relationship. There is no healthy foundation for a relationship. I'm gonna be honest.
I would beg to differ because
I
already said what the foundation is for a healthy relationship, and that's a relationship with God.
Yeah.
You have that's where it starts. I believe that, and that's based on my faith.
A lot of people don't even believe in spirituality. That's why I ain't say that. Because as much as you want to be spiritually in tune with somebody on that level, sometimes people push God away, and in turns it'll make your relationship more stressful because you think you're bringing this person closer to God by being in holy matrimony and following all the rules of the land. And then in reality, this person is fighting with demons at night. You get what I'm saying?
But that's why it starts with yourself. It's an individual thing. You got to work on your relationship with God for yourself, and then you start drawing it from others, and people they become drawn to that light in you that you're building. You know, it really starts with yourself. I don't know if you were here when I was saying that we're forever evolving. We're going to be always changed. We're going to be different versions of ourselves all the time. So with learning every version of ourselves, you also have to have that anchor, which is God. You know what I mean? And that's just how I feel. I've been married for 13 years, been with my husband for 21 years. We have 3 sons, and it hasn't been just skipping in the field of daisies all that time. We've had some lows, we've had some highs, but we've had more highs, which is why I'm able to stomach the lows and weather through the lows. But and I was saying it's a beautiful thing to have that bond with one person, you know what I mean? And just this person. The other day he told me, well, no, actually about a couple of years ago, this is when I knew this man. Now, I know this sounds crazy because I said we've been together 21 years, but this is when I knew that this man was my forever person. I should have known it before we went to the altar, but this is when I knew it. It was 10 years later. We were looking for plots for his father, because his father passed away, and his grandmother and his aunt were saying, oh, we're going to have this plot for such and such, and this plot for such and such, and this plot for you. This man said, no, I don't need that plot because I'm going to be buried with my wife.
That's right.
Do you hear what I said? That man said,
that's right.
I don't need that plot because I'm going to be buried with my wife. And it's the small things, like seemingly small things like that means everything. It made those lows worth it. It certainly made those highs worth it because he revealed his heart for me. But his heart wouldn't have been like that for me had his heart posture not been right with God first. And I wouldn't have been able to stick around long enough to receive it and wait on it had mine not been aligned. So that's why I said that relationship with God is pivotal. It's pivotal. That is the foundation. And I'm gonna step off my soapbox.
Okay.
I got a little emotional there. No, it's because it's a beautiful thing when you're patient enough, when you're willing, and when you're just
patient enough.
Patient and willing. Patient and willing. You're going to get hurt. It's a part of life. God said we are promised trouble in these days. We're going to get hurt. We're going to get let down. We're going to get disappointed. But how would you respond to that? How are you going to react? How are you going to bounce back? You can't stay there. You got to get up and move on and continue to believe in love, because love is beautiful. It colors life. It's beautiful, and it's worth the pursuit.
This is someone that the dating pool is missing. Someone that can let them know that it's okay to love someone. It's okay to be patient and kind with someone, to take your time to even date intentionally. It's okay to be in love with yourself so you can love someone else.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
We need someone like that in our community on a consistent basis, at least preaching that to the people that's growing up, because we don't hear that. We don't know that love is okay. And half the time we don't know that's okay because we don't even know what it feels like from our parents the right way. Or
they're not loving themselves. It's that it's a void. People been hurt out here, been in pain, struggling, going through all kinds of stuff.
You done met this person, and after 25 years of living their life.
Baggage. Erica got a song, Bag Lady. Yeah. There's bag men.
Yes.
Okay. And we all just coming in with bags and ain't no groceries in none of them.
That's true.
Okay. Seriously. Yes. We got stuff. We're dealing with stuff. And you got to be willing to be gracious enough to that other person to know that they're dealing with stuff too. You know, and are we going to unpack our stuff together and work through it and build some good stuff
intentionally,
or are we not?
Now, I just wanted to add on, man, you were dropping some gems. I'll give you a shout out real quick. No, I just wanted to respond to you, Brandy, because you said that there are no longer healthy foundations of relationships, right? And I do believe there are healthy foundation of relationships, but I think it depends on what you build it on. And I think if you build your relationships with strong values and moral character, and like integrity, commitment. And the reason why I say this because I know you're poly, right? But in my opinion is I don't think you can build a very healthy foundation. I think the only way you can build a healthy foundation is monogamy, because monogamy means that you're two people are fully committed towards each other, and to invest and to make sure you reciprocate the values and the things you guys are trying to achieve, and then you build it on top of it. I just find it very hard if in a polygamy situation, because you're investing your time and energy to multiple people. So it's really hard to build something great if you're investing everything you are to multiple people. I've never seen it before. Maybe there are people doing it like that.
Yes, I was actually going to tell you, you
But
should
I
check
think-
out Derek Grace Dynasty, actually on Instagram, YouTube, and on all platforms.
Yeah.
I actually was blessed to actually speak to him myself and kind of get his point of view while he was dating Chelsea, which is who he had his son with, Supreme.
Yeah.
Their dynasty is, I would say, a pillar for my relationship.
Yeah.
He is a man that has created a foundation for his entire family. He has 9 baby mamas and 13 kids, I think now. But they all live on one big piece of land that they all live on together as a family, as a unit. Everyone has their own rooms. People have their own cars. Kids go to school.
Yeah.
Their kids are homeschooled by one of the other women. That's a mother as well. So everything is pretty much like a close knit environment. Everything is within their own land and what they got going on.
Yeah.
They sell board games. They also offer like mother healing groups.
Yeah.
Like they are very supportive for each other. For me, it was more like looking at a sisterhood and the start of a new life, a new era. A lot of us people think that having most people with random people is okay, but I respected him. Like he brought in women that he knew, got to know, brought around the other women, the other children, and made it a foundation, not just, oh, I'm having a relationship with all these people. This man created a whole life, bought land, grow vegetables. His children are being raised by their same mother, siblings, and everything in the same household.
Yeah.
I just think it's a beautiful thing for a Black person to be able to do that, a Black man to be able to do that, because a lot of the times these men don't take accountability. These men are sleeping with women, having babies here and there. Don't see the kids 10, 20, 15 years.
Yeah.
Then you want to judge you trying to get a DNA test.
Mm-hmm.
So it's kind of like watching them showing that it is possible, that it's all about what you're willing to grow and deal with. You get what I'm saying? Like, I don't know. You got to look them up on Instagram. Their dynasty is amazing.
No.
Amazing.
I'm not, if that's why he does. What I'm saying is, I do believe in any situation, there's always like exceptions, right? So I would consider him a very rare exception.
Very rare. Almost definitely.
Exactly, right?
Okay.
Right?
Most definitely. Most definitely a rare.
So most guys.
But it works for them.
It works for them. So most guys who are polygamous are probably not doing what he does, right?
I know another guy who's polygamy too. He's in Vegas.
Yeah.
And he has 3 women, and they all live under one household.
They
all have all their children, and they bought a piece of land, and their lives are going great.
Yeah.
It just really depends on what you're willing to deal with. That's what I can say. Like, poly is not just you dated multiple people. That's not what poly is. And that's what people get misconstrued. Poly is actually a foundation that you build with people, and you have an understanding.
Yeah.
There's a bond. There's a relationship there. It's not just, oh, I'm sitting with this person, I'm going to go to her house, and then go to her house, and then go to her house, and I got kids with her. It's not that. That's not poly.
Yeah.
That's called sleep with multiple people. Simple.
Okay.
Yeah.
Also, when you're talking poly, like you want the poly guy that you're looking for is the guy that wants to take care and put everybody in the same roof.
Mm-hmm.
That's what you're looking for.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so you don't want to go, because a lot of poly relationships are just people, they're not sleeping in the same roof, but they're just having multiple partners.
Correct. But that's not poly though. People
that's
get
more
it
like a community, like a family, like an unconventional family.
Well, for a lot of people, they're still classified as poly, because poly just means you have like multiple people, when it comes to sexual partners. But now if you want, I would say like that guy is more like in a more traditional sense, because with the men in the past, we had multiple wives, multiple children.
Correct. That's
okay.
But to me, that's what poly looks like: to have multiple wives, to have your whole entire family with you, like not just to be sleeping with everybody and go where you want to go.
Yeah. All right. I mean, do you think that's going to be a very hard thing to do, to find that that situation? Because I know that's like there's very few guys. There's very few guys that can do that.
I know my guy for 2 years.
Yeah.
We've tried dating other people, like other girls.
Yeah.
It's like here and there. It's just, I feel like people don't want the commitment of being in that type of situation. That's what it is. Sometimes women do feel like, oh, we're in competition, or maybe he wants to be with her and not me. But then that means that you're not ready for poly. That means you're not in that type of situation. That means you may need to date monogamously and find one person. But there are people out there that would prefer that family setting, that family lifestyle.
Yeah, okay. All right, no worries. I appreciate you guys, everybody on the live chat. I see Joe Jiwa, Lord Punisher, Jane. Good to see you guys as always. Keep letting me know what.
Off, baby. I'm like, maybe you should have picked better.
Keep letting me know. Let me know what you guys think. What do you guys think? I want to shift the conversation real quick. is because we're talking about the topic is modern dating just practice for divorce and cheating. Based on that video we watched before, one of the biggest criticisms I hear from both men and women when it comes to dating, and especially if you want something long term, what they're saying is most people don't have the endurance for a long term relationship. Most people quit early. They don't have the toughness to overcome challenges, which is normal. Everybody has challenges in a relationship. There's no perfect relationships. There's always going to be arguments. You're going to have disagreements. Sometimes you're going to hate each other, but that's why the commitment needs to be there. So that way, even though we hate each other, but we made a commitment to be together and we're going to figure things out. But if people are dating, having short-term connections, having short-term dating multiple people at the same time, do you guys believe, and that's the topic we're discussing today, is just conditioning people to leave things when things get hard? And instead of taking, like I said, that's why I believe in the dating one at a time, because you're getting used to dating one person over long periods of time and making sure you have a vetting process. But when you're dating multiple people at the same time, because I think there was a stat out there that said that before you get married, there's going to be multiple relationships and you're going to have before you get married. But the thing is, it's kind of conditioning or teaching people when things get hard. You know what? I can always find somebody better instead of trying to really make it work with that person. So what's the response to that? Because that's a criticism with the modern dating today, is that because we have the understanding that there's somebody out there. And that's why I believe in the intentional dating, because if you make a commitment with somebody, look, we're going to make this work. It's going to, both of you guys are going to try to invest in something because there's no option. Because for me, multiple dating means 1 foot in and 1 foot out, right? So when things get hard, because you're 1 foot out already, you're just going to go outside and go find an expert. It's easy to walk away. But when you're committed to somebody, do it one by one, like, look, we're going to make this work. Or unless you do something that's going to be detriment, you beat me or you cheat on me, okay, leave. But just simple arguments, just maybe having some issues with the relationship, not be able to communicate. People today just, you know what, I just find it's easier to go find something better.
Absolutely.
So what do you,
for sure.
So what do you guys think about that? Do you think the way we date today, does it practice people for like just divorce in leading relationships? Because a lot of these people today who date that way, eventually they'll go get married. But then we see already that the divorce rate is high. So that way, if you're building this habit of dating for multiple years, and you finally get into a marriage, you're still the same person. It's just a different
caliber.
Category. You're just in the marriage category now, but you're still the same person like before. So when things get hard in your marriage, you're gonna do the exact same thing what you did in previous relationship.
Like, we're not practicing like being with one person by dating multiple people. So how do you know if you're personally ready for commitment if you're dating multiple people?
So what do you guys think about that?
Well, okay. I guess what I can say, I'm going to play devil's advocate because I still think that you should date multiple people. but playing devil's advocate, I could say that if you're dating more than one person and you're dating, let's say, Susie and Karen. Did I say Karen?
Yeah.
I love that name.
That was my dating name back in the day.
That name.
Well, when I was at the club, I'd be like, "Oh, what's your name?" Karen. But anyhow, oh geez. But anywho, it would be easy to say, "Okay, Susan, you out the door," because I still got Karen to follow.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? But then, when Karen decided to walk out the door, then what you gonna do? But yes, you're right in that aspect.
Yeah.
But my beliefs is to my beliefs. But I get where you're coming from.
Yeah.
Honestly, I agree. Until, I'm gonna be honest, I was probably one fit and one out in the beginning when it was, all of that going on, because I felt like I did have options. Maybe I could go talk to this person versus, be with this person. I think that when certain situations happen, like you said, when it comes to that time where you have to be by yourself and someone else chooses to move along, whether it's because they don't want to be with you or they chose someone else, but now you only have these 2 people instead of 3 people. Now it's kind of like, okay, now I'm 1 foot between this person and that person. I'm 1 foot in and 1 foot out. Am I really ready to be committed just in case this guy doesn't work out and I can just choose him instead? But I feel like when the situation came to me, like at hand, it was more so about who made me feel better. You get what I'm saying? Like, I don't know. I can't just say like, I'm never going to date multiple people again, because I feel like it was a benefit to it. I was able to learn myself, like I keep saying. So I don't know. I couldn't see myself dating one guy intentionally all over again besides the one I'm with right now.
Yeah.
But now that we are dating, yes, I do see that being intentional, showing up for each other, having understanding, be more nurturing. It allows me to stay in my relationship and actually think about marriage and not be like, okay, cool, I can go back with the other guys I made before I even chose you at the end. I don't even consider those guys anymore because I'm so focused on making my relationship work. I'm focused on my boyfriend that I'm with now and building a future, buying some property, moving away. I really don't have that much time to think about anyone else or the things that I've done in my past. Now that I'm where I am today, I'm gonna play the other side because I'm actually in a relationship. So truth be told, I really don't have time for that. Most of the time I spend trying to make sure that he's mentally okay, that he can get up and go to work, that he has lunch, that he has gas, that when he comes home, that everything is clean. Like, I don't have time to sit there and text another guy, hey, what you doing? Da-da-da-da. I don't have time for that shit. Truthfully, once you start intentionally dating, your time frame shortens throughout the day. You only get 24 hours, and at least 8 of them you're asleep. So then you start figuring out, okay, this is who my intentional time is with and who I really care about. I think it took for me to choose him to get to this point. You get what I'm saying? I don't think I was at this point when I was dating multiple people. Yes, I was 1 foot in and 1 foot out.
Yeah.
But when I chose my person intentionally, then my intention started changing. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah. Okay.
So I think regardless of anybody, whether you're dating most people or not, until that person chooses to change, nothing's going to change.
Yeah.
Like nothing. And it didn't change until we both wanted it because I wanted it first.
Okay.
And keep it real. I wanted him first. And he was like, girl, you talking to all these niggas. Like, real shit, he's sitting on the side of the screen. You can ask him. But I'm like, you can ask him. But it took for me as a woman to take a step back, like, okay, he's done doing what he's doing. Am I gonna like stop doing what I'm doing to continue and actually think about marriage or not?
Okay.
You know, so I do agree with you saying that we do practice more for the divorce and cheating because I was 1 foot in and 1 foot out.
Yeah.
It took for me to actually set him apart and set myself apart and think about what I really wanted intentionally and the efforts that the man was putting in.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? For me to kind of like code switch and be like, yeah, no, I do want him and him only.
Okay. All right. Appreciate for sharing that, Brandy. If you want to add on, what's your response?
I can't follow any of that up.
Yeah.
I mean, they said their opinion. I said mine.
Yeah. No, I agree. The one thing I just want to add on to what you guys already said, you know, that's why there's a biblical verse. I forgot what it is, but maybe you know what it is. But it says that no person can serve two masters, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's just human nature when it comes to our loyalty. So it's impossible for somebody to be loyal to two people at the same time and given the same kind of respect, right? You're gonna choose one. You're gonna like one or the other a lot better, right? That's just human nature.
You never treat one person like you treat the other.
Yeah, exactly. So that's why for me, the multiple option dating, it's probably goes against our very nature because you're gonna find somebody you like more than the other person, and then the person that you like more, you're willing to fight for that person a lot more compared to the other person.
That's true.
That's just the way it is. But I know you added one thing. You said that the reason why I decided to be with this person because it made me feel a lot better, right? And this is just my personal perspective. For me, when it comes to commitment and when it comes to a long-term committed relationship, I don't think it's based on a feeling. That's why I don't believe in happiness and love as the initial reason why I get into a relationship. I think that's a byproduct of doing the things you need to do to invest in that person, to reciprocate it. And then and the result is you're going to be happy and you're going to be in love. But if you go based on feelings, because anybody can tell you anything that can make you feel good and make you happy and make you feel loved.
But what do you believe in?
But wait, let me elaborate on that first. Because what I mean by feel better is I didn't no longer have the need to talk to all these people. I no longer had the need to go out to the club and stay at the club till 5 a.m. It made me feel better about myself as a person. It made me feel whole. Okay, this person cares enough about me. Okay, cool. That made me feel like I'm more important than everyone else around you. It made me feel better as a person. You get what I'm saying? Not necessarily that better, like, oh, he loves me. Like, no, because the love came way after the fact and it came after some dramatic situations. But I honestly felt like I was becoming a better version of myself and I felt more secure in what I had going on by dating this person.
Oh, okay. No, I got it. Oh, okay. Thanks for the clarification. Yeah. No, it's just for me is, when people talk about love and happiness, they usually talk about the feeling. For me, love and happiness is not a feeling; it's an action.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they don't. People don't tell you. People who really love you don't tell you they love. They show you by action they love you. So there's a lot of people out there that just because a man says something that you feel emotionally well, but it doesn't necessarily mean that he moves that way. So that's why I don't base my when I go into relationships, when I choose somebody to go with long term, I base it on how they treat me with their actions, right? So if we have the same values, if you're moving in a way that shows me that you respect me, that you treat me well, you're investing your time, and we're both committed. I know for a fact that if we do the thing, if we reciprocate, eventually we're gonna be in love. Eventually we're gonna be happy. But I don't base it on happiness. So just because I feel good, but in the reality, I see that you're not doing the things that you need to do, because I think that's what people get. The love can blind you, because even though especially with the beginning stages, it was the honeymoon phase, right? You're still infatuated with each other. You still love, the feelings are high. You know, everything's good. But that also blinds you with all the red flags, the things, the promises they didn't keep, the things they didn't do, and then you've learned that reality later. So I think for me, that's why I don't base it on a feeling, but I base it on action. And I think if we do the actions. And that's why we talk about commitment. I think oftentimes when we have conversations about commitment, oftentimes people will say, "Oh, I didn't feel this. I didn't feel happy. I didn't feel in love." But when you talk to people who are in committed long-term marriages, there's a lot of times where you don't feel happy. There's a lot of times you don't feel love. But the commitment is commitment. You guys made a vow, right?
And those actions are gonna
Exactly.
speak to
Exactly.
what it really is. Okay, maybe you don't feel so happy, but did he show up?
Yeah, exactly.
Did he come home?
Yes.
Is he loving you? Is he still showing you respect? Is he fathering your children?
Yeah.
Is he paying the bill?
Yes.
Is he being a man? Is he still being a provider?
Yeah.
Is he doing what's needed? And the same for her. Is she coming home? Is
Yeah.
she taking care of those kids? Is she, before the Lord for me? Is everybody doing their part?
Yes.
Their part?
Yes.
Right? Is everybody playing their part?
Facts.
If everybody's playing their part, then you can 9 times out of 10 deduce that there will be some. I'm going for joy and peace.
Yeah.
I'm gonna take it a step higher. Forget happiness, and I want joy and I want peace.
Yeah.
And I feel like to get to those places, that then everybody needs to be doing what they need to be doing.
Yeah. Because for me, it's like if I'm committed to you, I can hate you, but I'll still come back home to you.
Yeah.
Or I'll still come and have a conversation with you.
Go take a nap on that couch.
Yeah.
Get your life together. See you in a couple hours.
You can hate them for that day.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. Is,
Okay.
and I love what you said, and I love what you said. But the one thing I just want to add on to it is he willing to sit down to try to resolve your issue, because he wants to make it work.
Right.
Like he just said, look,
Right.
we have a problem right now, but I want to make this work. Let's fix it.
Now that's golden. I can't believe I missed that. One, because that's huge. Like, does he want? Is he interested in peace as well?
Exactly.
Because if he's interested in peace, just like you are, then y'all gonna resolve your conflict.
Yeah, exactly. Y'all resolve it.
You're gonna resolve it, right?
But that's why the thing is, for me, that's why I don't base it on feeling, because if you just base it on feeling, I'm not happy, but that person's willing to try to work, but you just because you're based on a feeling, a lot of people will leave a relationship based on the feeling instead of just trying to. Well, commitment for me, commitment means thick and thin. Unless you cheat on me, unless you physically abuse me or something.
Well, there are some deal breakers.
Yeah. I gotta, outside of those, right? Outside those reasons, but like arguments, disagreements, just going through a hard time. I think if the commitment is there, and there's no 1 foot in, 1 foot out, and you both want to make it work, you're gonna make it work. But I think the mentality, the 1 foot in, 1 foot out.
We had arguments that lasted 2 days.
Yeah.
But even though we're in the same house, I'll be downstairs texting, he'll be upstairs texting. We can argue in the same house. That's cool. He'll be down there, I'm gonna be up here. I'm gonna see you when we done arguing, because I'm not about to. Where are you gonna go? We going together? I'm gonna get right in the back seat. I'm gonna Uber today. Oh, cool. That's fine. We hungry. I'm gonna get in the back seat. You drive. Don't look at me. I'm not gonna look at you. But we sure is gonna go eat. Like, most definitely. That's my relationship for sure. For sure. I don't care how bad the argument may be. I always want him to come home. I always want him to be there.
And you're feeling that way because you don't look at this person as just disposable.
Oh, of course not.
Right?
I'd be ready to cry. I'd be like, you been home for 3 hours.
I'm sure he feels the same way. So you can't just be so easy, quick to
walk away.
People,
And here's why the multiple options goes against you, especially in this situation. So say with the situation, you're dating multiple people, but this is one guy you really like, right? You really like this guy. And this is the one you really want to make it work with, right? And say you guys have an argument, disagreement, right? You guys have an argument, disagreement, and then you're going through a tough time. that's when the other guys start texting you, hey, you need a shoulder to cry on. I'm here for you.
That's facts.
All right.
But it's all about your willpower and your commitment to
know.
the person
There
that
you
you're
go.
with.
I know.
To ignore that.
I know.
Because that happens to me all the time.
I know.
We've only been together for 2 years, 2.5 years, like I said. So it happens to me all the time. And one thing I've noticed is keeping your relationship and your feelings off of social media. Even if you post a sad emoji, you can literally post just a sad emoji and there's 15 niggas in your DM.
Exactly. I know.
So it's really about, oh yeah.
I'm like, wow.
Oh yeah, honey. It's the generation.
Yeah, that's how it is.
Oh yes, it is. So that's why I try to keep it off of social media and away from other people once you get into that moment. Even if it's your mom, your best friend, pick up that Bible, go for a walk, pick up a journal, choose something else, another method than having everybody else in your business in one form or another, because everybody's opinion don't really matter. Because we go through stuff all the time. And yes, I've had friends tell me or family tell me, oh, that nigga ain't good for you, or I think you should pick somebody else. Well, I think I'm living a great fucking life. I think that we had a small argument and we'll go eat and be happy again tomorrow. Like, so it's like you can't always take in from what everybody else has going on. It's about your commitment to that person and about how much you really want to intentionally be with that person and grow for real. But there's not a lot of people that really want to do that. So you find that person, stick to it.
No, yeah, what I'm saying is, I know you were able to do that, but more, when you're in a vulnerable state, man, especially when you're going through a difficult time with your relationship, if you have options, that's when those guys, like you said, these guys are ruthless. When they sense weakness,
they
smell blood.
They couldn't wait for you to wait for them to argue. To actually, are you okay today? I am great. Thank you. Straight.
So, and especially if you're very vulnerable, it's gonna be easy for you to fall into that.
Yeah, it is.
Right. So that's why for me, it's better to just cut off everybody and just do it individual one-on-one. So
you young people,
when you go through a hard time, there is no option. The only option you have is to fix this relationship.
After watching this, we want prenups in 2024 and beyond.
Shout out to you, Jojua. Shout out to you. Thank you so much. Drop the super chat. After watching this show, we want prenups in 2024.
Okay.
Listen, just make sure you got some 401k for you make me sign a prenup. Because if I'm signing a prenup for my own money and I come in a relationship with somebody, I'm gonna be mad. Because I'm normally the breadwinner in my relationships. So a prenup, baby, I'm gonna need one for the man.
All right. So shout out to you guys. I see Gas Mask on the live chat. Jane, you guys be always being tuning in and watching the entire show. Tim, good to see you guys. Lord Punisher, as always. I do appreciate you guys. I know some of you guys are watching from the other platforms. Do appreciate you guys. If you have any questions or topics you guys have to respond to as a panel, thank you so much for everybody that's participating. But yeah, I'll pass it back to the panel. So we were talking about divorce. We were talking about cheating. I just want to ask the panel before we conclude the podcast for you guys. If people, my thing is for me is, and I had a discussion with you guys before we started the show, right? I understand if the outcome is marriage, if the outcome is something long-term committed, I believe the reason why a lot of people I know a lot of people have different views. I believe I've had people on this podcast and we had disagreements and open conversation like we are having, which is great. But they defend the multiple options, situationships. I want to have sex with multiple people. I want to do this. I want to do this. And they don't agree with my intentional, traditional more when it comes to dating, which is fine. We can agree to disagree. But in my personal perspective, the reason why a lot of people don't agree with me or push back against what I'm trying to say is because the reality is most people aren't willing to do the work and make the sacrifices that people who are like me are willing to do.
Facts.
So it's hard to sacrifice and vet and be very selective compared to just giving your time to everyone, to multiple people, right? It's hard to reserve your sexuality for the right person, for the good person, instead of just going out there and just based on your sexual an impulse. I find this person attractive, have sex. So if you're gonna go the intentional route, my route, it requires a lot of sacrifice. It requires a lot of discipline. It requires a lot of work. It requires a lot of self-accountability to realize the things that didn't work before and making those changes in your current life. And I think a lot of people aren't willing to do that. It's easier to, I'm just gonna sleep around, talk to multiple people, and I hope somebody loves me. And that somebody loves me. So, like I told you guys before, the reason why, if there was something better with the intentional traditional dating I have right now, I would have done it already, right? But based on what I see, not only from the research, but also the people I talk to who are married, most of the people who have the ideal outcomes I want when it comes to marriage, relationship, family, all of them did the intentional, selective, the route. I have never met a man or a woman that had the multiple options, and I saw that they had the healthy relationship that I wanted. So, yeah, I just want to pass it. What's your perspective on that? Do you believe this generation of men and women? Because the thing for me is, it doesn't matter what outcome you want, whether it's to your health, whether you want to be fit, whether you want to be financially successful, whether you want a healthy marriage. It's the simple law of life. Whatever you want in life, just do the things you need to do the work, make the decisions, make the sacrifices, and you can achieve anything in life.
I said that
Yeah,
something
yeah,
that
yeah.
came to it at least
Yeah,
earlier when we were in there.
Yeah.
I said you get what you put
Put
out
into
there,
yeah, exactly, right.
What you're getting is a mirror of who you are.
Yeah.
Because you're whatever you project, that's what you're gonna get.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So yeah, so I just want to pass it back. We can conclude the podcast with that. I mean, I've had podcasts with men and women on here before, right? And then they talk about, I want a good man, I want a good woman, I want a good wife, I want a good husband, I want a loyal man, I want a loyal woman, I want multiple children. But the thing is, for me, is when I look at their lifestyle and the type of decisions they're making and the type of behaviors they have, it doesn't add up, right? So, and that's why
The
for
cognitive dissonance.
yeah, exactly. So what's your do you think most people today are willing to put in the work?
No.
No.
Unfortunately.
Right.
No.
And why do you and why do you think why do you think most people are not willing to do the work? Do you think it's just a generational thing that you have to learn the hard way, and finally there's gonna be a point in their life?
Lazy.
Yeah,
That's it. People are lazy. People naturally, as humans, we choose the easy route.
yeah.
And it's too easy. And it is too easy.
to choose an
Yeah.
alternative route.
And it's very
There's
select few of us
multiple
that
paths to choose.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. I think also, I think for me, I think it's also a reflection of society where there's a breakdown in family.
Yes.
I think it's hard to work towards something that you never saw yourself if you didn't see that when you were raised that way. So I could see here I was very blessed that my parents are still together, never been divorced, still alive, still they still love each other. So I had a great example and foundation and of what I can replicate, right? So I saw this with my parents. Now I saw that's my expectation. What I look for, I can go out there and find that.
Right.
But I do understand there's a lot of people
They don't have
that, they've never seen it.
reference point,
All right. So so they, in their mind, whatever relationship they saw growing up that's their baseline standard. And even if it's toxic, even if it's something that's not good for them until life or they learn through maturity or as they get older, no, that's not really good. This is what's really good. Until I met that right person to show them what a healthy relationship is.
I most definitely agree.
Yeah.
Most definitely. Both my parents are married. My great grandparents are married. My grandmother was married before she passed. I have a long line of marriages, but I felt like when I was younger in my early 20, 19, 18, coming fresh into the world, I felt like it was okay because of how society, social media, how everybody puts out, you can have any person, you can do anything you want to do, you can be who you want to be, go where you want to go. So most definitely, most people start out like that. But it's very rare that a person does change and actually want to be in a monogamous relationship based off of whether they've seen it or not. You can have a perfect background and still choose to do dumb shit or date 100 people.
That's true.
So I really think, like she keeps saying, it's really based on yourself and how you really want your life to turn out to be, your intentions for yourself.
Yeah. I had a conversation with one of the guests in the past on the previous podcast. And, she was a big believer in the multiple dating, multiple options. But we also had a conversation. She was like, why don't the men want to put in work? How come the men don't want to pay for the dates no more? Because you just talked about before, there's guys out there, they're looking for you to pay. Yeah. Looking for you to pay for the date.
I feel like they don't want to do that because women in general have come to a superiority in our era. And women have taken it too far. Sexy Red, what's the other girl? Stunner Girl, Megan Thee Stallion.
Yeah.
They put these personas on us women as a whole, and that's not really us as a whole. You get what I'm saying? I think
wait, no, I want chivalry. No, I want him to open my door.
And it's okay that my baby daddy's not rich. I don't want a rich baby daddy. I want a rich husband. It's okay that I don't want a rich baby daddy. I want a rich husband. And there's nothing wrong with that. But because those are examples that we see every day, social media, music videos, movies, it doesn't matter where you at. For the most part, it is women are superior or women are this and women are that, and men are just going to do whatever they want and they'll choose you if they want to. That's the outlook on everything.
No, because I remember I was having a conversation with that girl, and I also had a conversation with a guy. But that's why I still believe in the intentional dating, because I think it benefits you women long term as a majority.
Mhm.
Because if you guys all came together and decided, you know what,
No more.
Yep.
no more.
Yep.
You know what?
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
If we all
I
come,
agree,
if
yeah.
we
Yeah.
all come together as women and said, you know what, if you want to be, if you want access to me,
Mhm.
you have to move intentionally and come
Mhm.
to me correct, right?
Mhm.
And I think if you guys have that standard, guys will be like, okay, that really want that will be able to raise their standard and come that way.
Yeah, we like 30 generations
Yeah.
late for that though.
Because
Like that was back in the 1970s,
Yeah.
early 80s. Like that was the last good generation.
And then that I don't see that happening because it's too much autonomy too.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? Everybody is
Everybody's
just
stuck on this
individualistic.
90s love.
Everybody
Yeah.
is just
This
about
hard knock
themselves.
love, this
Yeah.
90s love. I don't want 90s love. I want 1970s love. I don't want
Yeah,
no 90s love because that was too much stress, too much drama, too much competition. No.
and I was talking to another guy also on this previous podcast, but he mentioned that why would I raise my standards where there's women out there that's going to set me for less?
Mm-hmm. Facts.
That was his response. I was like,
Mm.
because
Mm.
I'm a big believer of good men, good fathers, strong men, raise your standards.
Mhm.
Mhm.
But I do understand when the younger generation of men go into a dating market,
Yeah.
and they see what's out there and they realize, oh, it doesn't take much for me to get access to
Sure
a woman.
don't.
I just go on a dating app,
Mhm.
swipe right, we both swipe
You
right.
could walk to the beauty
Yeah.
supply, sit in front of the beauty supply,
Yeah.
you might snag one with a wig on. You never know.
Or without one, on her way to get one.
Yeah. Right.
Ain't mad at it.
You guys can you guys can drive to a gas station. It's gonna holler at you at the gas
Yeah,
station.
literally.
And
You
ready-
could be in
ready
a
to
dollar
go.
store. You could be in
Ready to
Staples
go.
with slippers and a robe on.
Yeah.
Listen, they don't care. If it walk and
yeah.
it talk,
Yeah.
they own it.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's why, and that's always I do agree. Like men need to be better. But I think the conversation with like women, like, look, if you guys raise their standard, men would respond to that.
Mhm.
But it's hard for the men. Well, the good men are always going to be the same, regardless of who.
Yes.
you know,
That's
but that's very rare.
Yeah.
So you're trying to find a rare man in a very difficult dating market. It's already difficult as it is. But if you want majority of the dating to be improved, the quality for both men and women,
It's the women that have to adjust.
what
their
I
standards.
want to put the county for both.
And how they carry themselves.
I think
We don't leave nothing for the eye.
I wouldn't say majority of
Speaking
you.
of me, like we don't leave nothing for the imagination.
Yeah.
Speaking of me, like we just don't. Like we just growing up, I used to get in trouble for wearing crop tops and little short shorts. And now that I'm a grown woman, I do understand why they didn't want us to do that. It's because you're literally giving access to everything that God gave you to the world.
Yeah.
And not just people that's in the house, but because you're gonna go outside, you're gonna take pictures, you're gonna be out, and that's what you're putting out there. When I was growing up, we never seen little girls in shorts and tube tops.
Yeah, sure.
In 2024, you'll find a 3-year-old, a 5-year-old, a
3-year-old.
6-month-old baby, and a 2-piece swimsuit.
With
And
a
we
lace
wasn't even
front.
allowed to do that. With a lace front.
Girl,
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
face.
I mean, I saw
You
3
never
years.
know.
I mean, not quite that young. I'm exaggerating.
Okay.
But I'm saying, you know.
You never know. The mom might have her little stuff in her little purse.
I'm exaggerating.
Listen, you never know with people these days. You literally never know.
That's true. Now, just a response to what you said that if it's going to be put on the women to improve the standards, to change the dating market, right? I know a lot of guys think that way, but I disagree. I think it's kind of
No, it's definitely
Both,
mutual.
both,
I was
yeah.
saying if that was your point, but
Yeah,
I
yeah.
would say it's a mutual. It goes
It can
both
help. It
ways.
can help.
It can apply.
'Cause I
It
think-
applies on both sides.
I
Yeah.
think for me, I would lean more towards the men because I see the men as the leaders of the household. So if we are involved with our children's lives, we can guide our daughters and sons
I
in
can
the-
definitely
in
get with
in the
that.
right direction. And
Yeah.
I think we have more impact. But I would say it does help if the women come together. You know what? We're not going to tolerate bad behavior
Mhm.
and lack of commitment and lack of investment into us.
Mhm.
We want high quality treatment from the men. I think it can help along with the men being involved with the children's lives and teaching their sons and their daughters how to move in a good way to
Yeah.
build a family. So
Okay, so I'm hearing you say that men need to lead. They need to step up and be willing and ready to lead.
the reason why I lean more towards the men, and I know a lot of men in my who subscribe disagree with my point of view, but the way I see it is, if we call ourselves leaders, then we have to bear that responsibility.
Absolutely.
You can't be a leader and not have the responsibility. So if we want that authority, if we want
Yeah.
that power, if we want that leadership position, then we have to bear the responsibility of the outcomes that are not only our kids but the next generation, and how it impacts the way we raise our kids. So a lot of times I hear a lot of guys complain about the low standards of women, but these are the same guys, chasing women. or having multiple kids with multiple women.
Mhm.
But they're arguing why women are not having high standards. Well, you're creating these types of situations. So I will lean towards the men because we call what they call themselves leaders. So I think leadership is something that you have to bear responsibility. And if you call yourself that one, you have to bear responsibility for the good and the bad.
Mhm.
And right now, the dating dynamics right now is not looking good for both men and women. But I think if more men came together, and I think more men were involved in their families' lives and their children's lives, I think have better impact long term. So, but yeah, we have come to the end. Shout out to you guys.
Absolutely.
We had a great conversation with you guys. Thank you so much. I know the live chat was spicy today. I appreciate you guys watching the entire stream. Thank you so much. We had a great conversation today. We had a great topic. Thank you for making the time. Appreciate you
Thank
for
you.
making the time. I know it's difficult to get here, but I really do appreciate coming on, having open, real, raw conversations. And I do respect for you guys because, like I said, we can agree to disagree. And that's one of my main objectives of starting this podcast because what I see online is just too much complaining. Men complaining all their problems on
Yeah.
women,
And
and then the
women
women
all
complaining all the
men.
problems on men. But nobody wants to sit down as adults
Mhm.
and have hard conversations,
Yeah.
even though we may disagree on a lot of
Just be
things.
accountable.
Be accountable, yeah.
for your part.
So I respect you
Figure
guys.
each other
Yeah.
out.
Just have a real honest conversation, even though we disagree on a lot of things.
I agree. I ain't gonna lie. This was a good topic.
Yeah,
It's good.
but
I
at the end of the
agree.
day, that's how we're gonna resolve this issue. Is
Yeah.
sitting down and having the hard.
That's
These
right.
conversations are gonna be easy.
That's
Yeah.
right.
It's gonna be
And you
difficult.
don't have to rush to a solution.
Yeah, yeah.
Because sometimes there is one. You just got to troubleshoot,
Mm.
figure it
Yeah.
out, and brainstorm.
That's-
and
yeah.
just keep having a conversation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
As I always tell people, like great things is not gonna be easy. It's gonna be
Right.
hard. So, but
Right.
that having more of these conversations, I believe it's gonna impact men and women out there to stop complaining,
Yeah.
and actually figure out a solution, come together and figure out differences.
And I'm gonna say this for the complainers: be the change you want to see. Like Gandhi
Mhm.
said, did
Yeah,
he say
yeah,
that? It
yeah.
starts with you. First, be the change that you want to see in all these people that you're hoping to come across, and I bet you your options will change and improve.
All right. But I'll pass it back to you guys. Thank you so much for watching the entire show. I'll pass it back to you guys. What's your final thoughts on tonight's conversation? How can people find you on your platform so they can support you? All right. So I'll start with you, Renee. Renee, thank you for the time. Thank you for the great back and forth.
Let me tell you, I really don't do social media. This is not my thing.
Yeah.
You know, you guys are the youth, and I appreciate this, but I don't do social media. My sons do, but
All right.
this is what I do.
All right.
Well, I don't do social media either, besides, just for family and friends, but you can follow me on Miss T365 on Instagram if you like, or not. And I would just say, stay positive. Love always wins, and live life loudly and proudly, and don't give up on love.
All right. Thank you so much. And I'll pass it to you, Brandy. Thank you for making the time.
Of course. You can follow me on all platforms. Official Bandy, BANDEE _. I am a rapper, a model, a mom, an entrepreneur, and my advice as far as like relationships goes, live in your truth and stick to yourself, and actually believe in who you want to be, and the person that you want to attract will come around. And when that time does come, don't be afraid to open up and have open communication about things you like and you don't like, because that will really determine whether that's your person or not. You'll figure out if you're going to have intent or not. Trust me.
Okay. Fair enough. But shout out to you guys one more time. All right. Thank you so much for always watching the entire stream. A lot of you guys watched the entire show from the beginning to the end. So thank you so much. Don't forget that the best way to support the channel is to smash that like and subscribe button real quick. So you get notification we do go live next week, new topic, and we have another panel joining us. But you guys all have a great night. Peace, y'all.
All right.
Peace.
Yeah.